been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show, live on Monday, September 22nd, 2025. A pleasure to be with you. And boy, do we have a lot to get to today. Oh, I can already feel the energy of the Utah haters feasting on mediocrity. I am amazed that there's so much college football. And it must have been 200 or 300 comments talking about, oh, Utah sucks. Oh, they're terrible. Look, I love the fact that you guys coalesce around the violence and anger that you have for Utah football. And I also love the fact that all of a sudden this is a Utah show. Like,
and go ahead, take your one day. I mean, we can't be right every single day. We can't be right about Kimmel. We can't be right about Avery Johnson. You know, I mean, we can't be right for like years on end. I mean,
well, you're just going to go right to. You're just going to go right to the.
I don't even care,
Kimmel, aren't you?
I don't even care. I don't even care. Look at the comment section. Oh, what happened? You guys got it wrong. Utah sucks. Tech's amazing. Oh man, Monty, what happened? Like, okay, cool, man. Celebrate your one day. You guys get one day to be the best version of yourselves today.
I'm not even like, the funny thing is, like, it's not personal to me when Utah loses. Now, it's personal to me when Notre Dame loses, and giving up 871 points to Purdue the other day was not ideal. And I appreciated all the comments ripping Notre Dame as well. At least some of you understand I'm a suffering Catholic, which is fine. Listen, my point is, I think what happened here is, and of course we get Oak State James, who's never wrong about anything. I would just like to point out, you can add another name to the Oak State James tombstone, if you will. Cody Ford, Josh Ford, Mark Ford, Tim Ford, the Ford Theater. Brother, what happened to the best tight end in the history of college football, James? What happened to James, as though on brand, tweets out that he was so excited about the first possession for Oak State.
I feel so much better.
Oh, and then Tulsa went on to beat the shit out of Oak State for the entire game. And the best part was that Josh Ford did not have any impact on the game. None. And remember that Josh Ford is the best tight end. I believe, I'm not exaggerating, I believe Oak State James said that Josh Ford is the best tight end in the country, or last year said that. And he ain't even a factor. Which I think is amazing. Yeah, well, and then there's Calford and our guy Gumby. I mean, I have no idea what you even say about JK and just how inept the Cal offense was the other night. I'll remind you, that was San Diego State, who has not beaten anybody. Nobody.
Hasn't got the pro rata they deserve.
No, and I'm shocked. I am shocked. Yeah, Tulsa hasn't. Do you guys understand that Pearl Harbor was still pristine and ships had not sunk the last time that Tulsa did anything on a football field? Like, I mean, it was that long ago. Are you kidding me right now? And so that's why I said, like, I have no joy. I am here to pour kerosene on top of your fires of doom. I am amazed by it. And the fact that The fact that I get to, on a daily basis, read the hilarity of the comment section is amazing. But let's get into it. As always, the Monty Show presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, bar none. We had a lot of rain right here in the great state of Utah. How about rain? It's not blistering hot. I'm really surprised we're not in the dead of winter because it is September 22nd. And with the way things have been going, but we had a lot of rain. We had a lot of accidents. Folks, slow down. When it rains, you got to be careful. Kids are back in school. There's a lot more cars on the road in the morning and in the afternoon. Please slow down. And if the worst happens, remember, get to the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, where you never reach into your pocket to pay the Advocates. In fact, you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Best part is you have nothing to lose. You can talk to an injury attorney 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Obviously, the biggest story of the weekend, I think, in college football was a huge weekend for the Big 12 on both the good and the bad. Obviously, the game of the weekend was Texas Tech in Salt Lake City to take on Utah, and I think there was a lot of good that came out of this game for Texas Tech. I mean, particularly the defensive line really stood out. But I think you have to start asking questions about Behren Morton. And I know that I took a lot of heat on this show last week talking about, hey, is Behren Morton a big game quarterback? And up and down and all around, I was told that I am just a hater and I don't like Texas Tech. And okay, you can live in that realm. But I am telling you, Behren Morton was, it's not even that Behren wasn't good at Utah. He was downright dreadful at Utah. He did not read the defense well. He did not play well. And our biggest fears about Behren Morton were realized this weekend because he is a statue. He is in the pocket. He is not mobile. And when he did choose to try and escape the pocket, I don't know who's coaching him to take on linebackers, but he's got to stop doing that, because Behren Morton took several hits that simply he did not have to take. And Jake, I think the question has to be asked, is Behren Morton a big game quarterback?
Well, I mean, certainly he didn't look like a big game quarterback against the Utes. I mean, I think that the decision making was definitely questionable. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, everyone's looking at the scoreboard and saying that Tech won by 24. 2 of those touchdowns were garbage time touchdowns when the game was already decided. So, I mean, you really beat Utah by what, 2 possessions, you know? And I think that what was crazy is the first half was just turnover city. I mean, you know, obviously, I don't know what the hell Dampier was doing, but for Behren Morton, I mean, there, some of those throws were just unexplainable. I mean, I don't know, like, what you thought you were doing with some of those throws. I don't know what you saw or didn't see. And yeah, to your point, I mean, the hit that he took from the linebacker, I mean, you know, then he takes that hit where he hits his head on the ground, leaves the game, comes back in the game, takes another big hit. Oh, I think 2 plays after he'd come back in the game or whatever. And I don't know what like, I love the kid's style, right? Like, I love the way he plays the position in terms of like leading his team, you know, the vibe when he's in there, like, you know, they feel like a good offense when he's in there. But the problem is that there's way too much of like, hey, we're going to run around a little bit and just kind of throw it up to my guy and try to let him make a play. And ultimately that leads to interceptions. So, I mean, is he a big game quarterback? I mean, at this point, no, but the wild part is that somehow, some way, those deficiencies still led to Tech, you know, winning in what turned out to be pretty comfortable fashion.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem for Behren Morton is that he just does not seem, and he's going to play this week. There's almost no doubt about that after what Joey Maguire said today, and I'll play the tape for you in a minute. But it just seems like now, coming out of this win, you feel like you have questions that need to be answered at the quarterback spot. I think there's no question about that. The other thing that I think really stands out is that you probably need to find a number 1 running back at Tech. I mean, you still won this game. You You look at some of the numbers that come out of this game in the hows and the whys. I don't think there's any doubt the time of possession. Utah's defense being on the field for 32 minutes if for any defenses, is never going to be a good thing. But at the end of the day, if you're just going to read a box score, Texas Tech puts up 484 yards of offense, which on the surface seems great until you figure out that, you still have a lot to learn about this offense. I think the offensive line at Texas Tech is going to be heavily tested through the rest of this schedule. I think that's a real question. But obviously, with what Texas Tech did defensively, I thought Jacob Robinson was absolutely fantastic. And again, I think all the guys that we talked about, I thought Utah did a really good job keying on Romello Height, and everybody else stepped up on that defense. I mean, the front seven really was a front five. Were very, very good for Texas Tech, which gives you a lot of hope going forward that they can get those stops. But there is no question that both of these teams have a lot of improving to do. Texas Tech has got to clean up the penalties, because now it's becoming a regular pattern where they're making mistakes that are costing them field position. And I think in this game cost them opportunities to score points. But there's no doubt that now you feel like Texas Tech has I don't want to say the foundation. They simply have the building blocks to move forward and compete for the top of this league. And as far as what we learned about Utah, I think this injury thing now, one, it feels like an excuse, right? There's this story going around. Kyle Whittingham said today that Devin Dampier couldn't practice last Tuesday and Wednesday. Funny thing is, he wasn't on the injury report, which is a mandate now in the Big 12. This is a huge problem. And if, in fact, it is true that Devin Dampier is dealing with an ankle injury, which I think we heard about all weekend long, call it an excuse, call it what you want. Their offense was boring. And if Devin Dampier is hurt and did not show up on the injury report, Utah needs to be significantly punished for that, because there is a process in place to make sure that does not happen. And if this is truly what happened, Utah did not follow that process, and the Big 12 has to come down hard on that, because you cannot have, in my opinion, one of the biggest games of the year in this conference, and nobody knew the quarterback was dealing with a significant injury to the point where Dampier was not able to practice Tuesday and Wednesday. I would call that a significant injury. And I don't know if you're Brett Yormark, if you can just let that slide. In fact, I know you cannot. And the other thing that was so clear here, this is the same Utah offense that has played Kyle Whittingham for his entire head coaching career at Utah. It was boring, it was unimaginative, and it was really conservative. And the one time Utah truly took a shot down the field, your best offensive player in Spencer Fano made a massive mental error that took a touchdown off the board that likely would have changed the complexion of that game. And I don't know how other else to spin it. Utah's offense has got to open things up. You have explosive players. Obviously, you have one of the most explosive quarterbacks in the country, and it didn't look like it. And the idea that Devin Dampier's injury is why you were conservative, no, bro, I'm not buying that. You were conservative because you've always been conservative. You didn't take shots because you never take shots. You were not dynamic and creative in your play calling and your schematics because you've never been dynamic and compelling and creative in your schematics on offense. And it is a real problem. And if you are, in my opinion, not the same secondary that you have been historically at Utah, you had better open up the offense. Because when you run into an offense like Texas Tech, now, I think some of the things that went around in this game, the officiating was one of the most poorly officiated games I've seen probably in the last 3 years. I mean, just blown calls, missed calls, no calls, bad calls, but that benefited and damaged both sides. You look at some of the things that happened for Utah, and you look at some of the numbers. You couldn't get off the field on third down, and you did not convert on third down. And when we start looking at some of the throws, and you start looking at why you were 4 of 14 on third down, was just bad play design. It was, in my opinion, in a lot of those cases, I can't say the play call was bad because in theory, the play is good. But Texas Tech was playing a lot of packages where they had 4 guys down and they were pressuring the quarterback. It's not like Texas Tech packed the box and dominated the line of scrimmage defensively. You know what happened? They didn't pack the box, and you couldn't run through the A or the B. And you never tried to get outside. And the few times you did, now we know Devin Dampier has a pretty significant ankle injury, it sounds like, that didn't allow him to get outside. So, Jake, I think to end this blustery rant, I don't think there's anywhere to hide for Utah's offense. It's the same boring-ass, bland offense we've known for over a decade.
Yeah, and I think what makes matters worse is it's not just boring and bland and unimaginative because you just want to run it a lot. What's boring and bland and unimaginative about it is you had no answer when you were down 10 as to what you should do. I mean, again, the idea that Skylar Gill-Howard is just eating you alive and you have no answer for him, I thought was completely unacceptable. I mean, I don't know. Like at some point you might want to show your running backs how to provide pass pro. Like at some point you might want to get to a place where, because what no one wants to talk about is, hey, well, Dampier threw all these interceptions and didn't have a good game and now allegedly was playing hurt. And well, why was he running around so much? Well, he was running around so much because Tech was getting pressure. Tech was on him the whole game. So
with
to me,
4 guys.
With four guys. So let me get this right. With 4 guys, they're getting pressure. They're forcing your quarterback to run his ass off the whole game. And again, Dampier deserves a lot of criticism in this game. I agree. You made a lot of ill-advised throws, a lot of throws that I just have no idea what you were looking at. You forced it into double coverage multiple times, and they made you pay the price for that multiple times. Now, again, everyone's cracking Utah's defense. Tech should have had 40 in this game. Tech should have had 45 in this game. How many times do they need to give you the ball before you go down and score? But why did you not score as much? Well, Baron Morton didn't have a good game. Then Will Hammond comes in and lights the world on fire. And now we have what some might call a quarterback conversation. So I think Will Hammond, and I think this is they're not making a quarterback change at Texas Tech. Let's be clearly not.
Let's be very clear about that. And I don't think they should. But there is no question now. You have to wonder if Baron Morton has the fortitude to compete in tough environments. Say what you want about the Utah on-field product. That place was absolutely shaking on Saturday morning. The fans showed up as they always do.
And it caused multiple penalties.
It is one of the best home field advantages in college football, and there's just no excuse to not be able to convert. And again, my belief is you had these offensive issues because Devin Dampier is playing on one leg. And you saw that, and it absolutely, like the Will Hammond stuff at the end of the game, the defense was dead. They were on the field for how many sustained drives? Like, I'm watching the tape of that game, rewatching the tape of that game yesterday, and there are so many drives here where you're like, okay, well, great, we're in the second quarter, and it's 7 plays, it's 8 plays. We're in the third quarter and it's 6 plays and 5 plays. And then you open the fourth quarter with a 12-play, 79-yard drive, 4.5 minutes. That right there is where the game should have ended, right? But then Utah answers 8 plays and 75 yards, and you get just an unbelievable play out of Devin Dampier to Ryan Davis, which I thought was one of the plays of the game, which gave Wayshawn Parker an easy run into the end zone. And then all the air came out of the building because you gave up 3 straight touchdowns. And you could tell the defense had just been on the field too long. And it's because you're playing with a quarterback who's got 1 foot. And all of those earlier drives that were 7 plays, 8 plays, and you came back and you had 3 or 4 plays. That's what really determined the end of this game. 3 touchdowns in 4 possessions. The Utah defense for 3.5 quarters dominated this football game. I think what did Utah have? I think 9 tackles for loss in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
and
Utah's defense showed up, dude.
It's wild.
Listen, all the Tech knee padders are going to say that Tech is miles better and Utah sucks. And hey, man, have your day. Cool, man. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for an honest conversation about this game. Yeah. My biggest concern, number one, I think I tweeted this on Saturday, but this is Kyle Whittingham's legacy now, dude. It's locked in. It's engraved in stone, bro. You have a great defense every single year. Typically, your special teams is pretty good. And your offense is, with all due respect, terrible. And I don't care why it's terrible now. That's the problem. Like, it used to be, like I said, hey, you just run the ball too much. You can't recruit quarterbacks. Well, now you do have a decent quarterback. I think the best quarterback you've had in a while. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in college football, but the guy can run around, the guy can make plays, and he's got a good arm.
Yeah.
And the problem is, with all due respect, my personal opinion is I don't buy the Dan Pierce hurt. I don't buy it. He ran his ass off, dude.
No.
He ran his ass off.
No, you can see it. You can see he doesn't have the quicks. He doesn't have
well, then if that's the case, if he doesn't have the quicks, if he wasn't healthy, whatever we want to say, then Kyle Whittingham needs to be accountable for the fact that he's lost his edge coaching, because you don't keep him off the injury report, then use it as an excuse when you lost the game. You can't do that as a head coach now.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting conversation. And I have a lot of respect and admiration for Kyle Whittingham. I don't love the way that this is being handled, but let's focus on Texas Tech. They won the game. They came to Salt Lake City in a very difficult place to win, and they won the game. Here's Joey Maguire, the head coach at Texas Tech, updating you on Baron Morton.
Yeah, he's good. He's, he was in the locker room, gave me a big hug and said, congratulations. It's always tough. I mean, that hit that he took, man, that was, I know everybody saw it, man. That was a big hit. We came in, evaluated him. They came back out and said, hey, man, he's doing really, really good. He's in a good spot. So feel good. We're lucky that we have a bye week, because we've got some guys that are what I call football banged up, and that allow us to get some guys back, for the Houston game. But feel good. He was in there celebrating with the team and, gave me a big hug. And I know he's frustrated because, he wants to be out there and he wants to be the guy, leading us down the field. But he'll be back and be ready to go.
Yeah, Joey Maguire talking about Baron Morton, and I love Baron Morton on a garden variety Saturday afternoon. I love the kid. I love the way he plays. I love his moxie. I love his belief. I hate him in a big game, and I think, just looking at all of the throws, you could see he was really tentative. The interceptions were terrible decisions, and Baron is just this guy who is fantastic against Abilene, but then you wind up in Salt Lake City playing in a huge game, and it's just like the guy shrinks. And I've talked about this so many times, and Tech fans last week got really upset about the fact that I was saying, listen, it's great that you beat, Iowa State or like these big games on the road against ranked opponents. And Baron Morton is just not good in those games. You won despite him. And now you have a legitimate defense. I don't know that Texas Tech can consistently run the football. I think we saw the offensive line still needs a lot of tune-ups for Texas Tech. But you have a defense that is disruptive with 4 guys. You have 4 legitimate defensive linemen at Texas Tech that make your linebackers simply able to make great plays. And the linebackers at Tech are so disciplined and so able-bodied to tackle and do not fear the big collision in the gap. It just makes for really good defense. Now you got to find a way to get Baron Morton to step up in critical situations and make those throws. Because I think if we get into the meat of this schedule. And I look at Texas Tech. You're on a bye week, so there is no reason you cannot look at this film because, again, you guys, Texas Tech won this game. The numbers look gaudy. This was a 10-point game, and Texas Tech made an ass load of mistakes. I mean, a lot of mistakes that a bye week should really be able to clean up. And what I am cautioning Texas Tech fan to do is don't get your tail feathers up. Yeah, keep them tucked in behind. Keep them tucked in behind. Hey, that was a good win for us. Really good test on the road. Yeah, we won on the road, and we got to go to Houston, and then Kansas comes to Lubbock, and they're playing really well. And, then we're Arizona State. And don't forget, we got to go to Manhattan, and we got BYU, who we got to talk about in a minute. Because let me tell you something. Now that you beat Utah, you should go undefeated. And if we're being really honest about Texas Tech, the team that we saw Saturday will be favored in every game for the rest of the season, all things being equal. Now, if guy gets hurt here or there, okay. All things being equal, Texas Tech should be and will be favored on the road, at home, on Mars for the rest of the year. And you look at this schedule, you're clearly better than Houston. Kansas is probably your most difficult test. And then you get BYU in the last month of the season. What I think that's November, what is that, like November 9th, November 8th at Jones AT&T. You got to get these mental mistakes you're making because Tech fan, let's be brutally honest who you are. You're 484 yards in offense. You're also 14 penalties for 122 yards. That doesn't win you conference championships.
Why didn't he go to a silent count?
Not at well, but the ones that really stand out to you. Yeah, I agree. Early in the game, I thought the noise was an issue, but like you even look at some of the minutia penalties. They're just stupid penalties that frankly you don't need, right? Like it's a false start with 5:53 to go in the third quarter because it wasn't loud. I just felt like you didn't know the snap count. What the noise in that particular one, like I've watched that play like 3-4 times. The noise was certainly not at peak in that moment, and he just didn't know the snap count. I felt like
it just wasn't checked in. Yeah,
I think that was the Samson one, and you can't make that mistake, right? And then the thing that bothers you is, okay, you recover from that, but then you look at that long drive, and if you don't get that big play to Caleb Douglas, I think if you don't get that big play to Caleb Douglas, and I know this is going to sound extreme, if you don't get that big play to Caleb Douglas, do you win this game? Because remember what it led to that big completion. And I look at the notes I took. You had a run that should have been a 1-yard loss. One of the things the refs did in this game that was abysmal, the spotting of the football in this game.
Garbage for both sides.
I have no idea what they were looking at. That's probably at least one and probably a 2-yard loss. They call it line of scrimmage. And then the incompletion, the ball that he throws to Caleb Douglas to end the quarter is just, I mean, it's a terrible throw. And then what happens? You come out on the first play of the fourth quarter and you throw a 33-yard bomb to Caleb Douglas, all the way down to the Utah 27. And I think that's truly where this game changed.
Yeah, I think that inside of these conversations, right? Like them being undisciplined with how many penalties they had, the way the officials in this game officiated the game. Like I think there's a lot of that, but like ultimately, like what really stood out to me is Tech was pretty prepared for the moment, right? I agree. You had too many procedural penalties before the snap. That's got to get cleaned up. and they'll clean that up. And they need to be much better systematically with how they're handling noise and tough environments, and they're going to figure that out. And not ideal to be suffering those issues when you're playing Utah. But what really stood out to me is I can't get away from this sense that Joey Maguire and his staff did a better job preparing their team for this game. Like,
absolutely.
Tech came to the building and just felt prepared. Like,
Absolutely.
you were prepared enough to the point to where Baron Morton turning it over, and it wasn't even just the turnovers. Like, early in the game, he just didn't look great. Like, there were just several throws where it just wasn't like
fucking want to.
Yeah, there wasn't that sort of like again, as I said earlier, like he looks good leading the guys, and like he's a great teammate, and he's awesome in the locker room. But like once he's out there,
it's great in a uniform.
Yeah,
like
he's got the sleeve and the visor, and he's doing the suit. Like I get it, dude. I get it. You have drip, and you're cool, and it's Texas Tech, and you're the new kid on the block. But I don't know, man. I respect the hell out of Kyle Whittingham. I do, but I'm pretty much at the end of my rope talking about Utah at this point. Like
the Utah offense. I'm tired of. You can't put this on Jason Beck and Devin Dampier. This is uniquely a Kyle Whittingham problem, and it's been this way for 12 years. It's been this way for Kyle Whittingham at some point. Because all we heard all summer and in the fall camp was, oh, it's Jason Beck's offense. It's his. He's this. You need to let him open it up. Let Devin Dampier play the way he's able to play, because he's a really good the one interception was just, you got to throw that ball. The one on the left sideline, he tried to throw it 17 yards down the field, and he threw it 23 yards down the field. Easily intercepted. You got to throw that ball away. But this thing with the injury report, sorry, man. I'm telling you right now, the Big 12 has to come down hard on Utah.
Well, what would that look like? Would that just be suspension of some variety, or what?
I don't know what they would do. I don't know. I couldn't even guess.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's like a monetary fine. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. For this is much more of a, hey, you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar because you misspoke, which again is.
I don't think he misspoke. He outed himself. Kyle Whittingham today said Devin Dampier couldn't practice last Tuesday and Wednesday.
But why would you say that? That's my point. Why would you say that?
This is a new policy, and I think Whit just said something he shouldn't have said. I don't know why you would say that. I have no idea. But my guess is, and I think I've heard people say this today, you got to take Devin Dampier off the field for a game. You got to suspend him over the violation of this policy. What else would you do?
Well, why would, and I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to understand why would it be Dampier being suspended?
Well, it's that or Whittingham. One of the two's got to be suspended. There has to be. You can't have a policy in place and have it blatantly not followed, and then blatantly just blown off in a press conference.
Yeah, just so casually.
Because I'm telling you, and maybe it's just because I've watched a lot of Devin Dampier video now, trying to understand who he is. He was not the same guy Saturday. He was clearly not able. He was fine moving around, but if you've watched any of his tape, there's just a moment where he plants and you don't even know he's gone yet, and he's in the end zone. And you're like, well, where did he go? Oh, he's down there in the end zone. He's got that kind of twitch, and that was non-existent Saturday. It's not an excuse. That I'm not making an excuse. What I'm telling you is it's very clear the cat's not well, and he didn't practice Tuesday and Wednesday. Somebody's got to get slapped in the bag for that. And it's Whittingham or it's Dampier. One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's that. I also think that, if you look at the last couple of seasons, and when I say the last couple of seasons, I'm taking this back to, the Rose Bowl probably, where you lost that game after Cam went out. It just seems like this program, for whatever reason, and it's not, I don't think it's entirely on Whit. Like, obviously, he's the head coach. Okay, he bears the responsibility. But when we're actually talking about, like, tactics and X and O's and mechanism, like, I don't know why this program just seemingly gets to the big stage, has big noon kickoff, got to the Rose Bowl, has been in big spots, and it just doesn't work out. And it doesn't mean they suck, but it's like, hey, like, this is a huge game, everything's in front of you, like, you've looked pretty good, it's just frustrating that
It is.
at some point, like, again, and I'm not saying that because you lost this game, Whit should retire. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I think the conversation's bigger than just the injury report thing. Like, at some point, this team needs to just get it together in these big moments and find a way to overcome. Like the Fano penalty was where I got really pissed off. Like, that's unacceptable. That is undisciplined. And you know what bothered me the most? On the replay, watching the film, what does he do? He's beating that guy's ass in the block, absolutely dominating the guy. And then realizes, he says, this is not a run play, fellas. This is a pass play, and I'm way too far down the field. And even looks back. Like, how does that happen, dude? Like, how? Like, that's I'm just like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Jake is starting to sound like Max Headroom. Yeah, Jake was having a little.
What does that even mean?
Wow. You were having a little glitchy there, but that's fine. I don't know. James, listen, we really got to have a talk about it. They didn't lie about Dampier. The kid probably wanted to play, even though he wasn't 100%. He's a competitor. So it has nothing to do with if he played in the game or not. It's an injury report, and it is mandatory in the Big 12. Kyle Whittingham said at his presser today, Eric Dampier was not able to practice Tuesday and Wednesday. What does that have to do with the kid wanting to play? Absolutely nothing. What does it have to do with the gamblers in Vegas? Absolutely everything. That's what this is about. And I'm just telling you, it's not about the kid wanting to play. Big Pontiff, if you suspend Whit, what difference will it really make? Morgan will be the coach, one game audition. It's, and I know what you mean, because Morgan's going to be the coach. I firmly believe now, if this continues, and Utah's got a daunting schedule. I think Utah's got one of the more difficult conference schedules ahead. You got to go to Morgantown. I mean, you're better than Pitt, so you're probably going to beat wholesale ass in Morgantown. But then you come home for Arizona State before you go to Provo, who we're going to talk about in 2 minutes here, and play BYU. This is a stretch where you could lose 3 of 4 very easily. Very easily. That's not even... Arizona State's better than Texas Tech. And I look at Colorado, Cincinnati, Baylor sucks, Kansas State, we have no idea. And Kansas. This is let me just keep seeing it real with you. Bowl eligibility is what you should be worried about first. Because I saw all the Utah fans this weekend saying, "Oh, we're still going to win the conference, Monty." Okay, that's cool. Why don't you become bowl eligible first? Because I don't think this is a slam dunk. Because do I think they beat West Virginia? Yeah. Do I think they beat Arizona State at home? I think I probably do believe that. Do they go to Provo and win? I have no idea, because the BYU I saw this weekend, if we're being honest, I am stunned. I am stunned that BYU so easily dispatched of ECU on the road. And when I say easily, let's just be very clear about this. BYU absolutely dominated East Carolina. Absolutely dominant from the opening moment of that game. They absolutely dominated. And you say what you want about Bear Bachmeier. The kid threw his ass off, played his ass off. And I told you LJ Martin was going to have 100 for him to win a game, ran for 101 and a touchdown, and was absolutely the big ticket in this game. And I'm just going to continue to tell you what I've said. What have I said about BYU all year? That defense is terrifying. And when you're getting Jack Kelly with 2 sacks, if that cat's getting in your backfield, just give them the conference championship. If the linebackers, do you guys understand that Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasgow combined for 4 tackles for loss? That means behind the line of scrimmage. If that's going to continue, and I don't know why it wouldn't, they're going to run away with this conference.
Well,
Because this defense and I looked all day yesterday for a weakness in this BYU defense, because it was supposed to be the secondary. Up front, the front 7 was going to dominate. I think we all knew that, right? Like the linebackers are intact. You added great defensive linemen. I think we all knew that. Has anybody taken a moment to look at the stats on the season? Now, again, I'm a big believer that BYU, this was a huge test on the road. They've played Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina, 3 really mediocre teams. But their defense in 3 games has given up 16 points. And they are the best linebacker group. I have no doubt BYU is number 1, Texas Tech is number 2, and I think Utah's number 3 in linebackers in this league. And I'm not certain that it's close. I think BYU is exponentially the best front 7 in the league. I think they're significantly better than Texas Tech's front 7, and I think Tech's got a really good front 7. And their defensive line, I think BYU's secondary is better this year than it was last year. And it's because they're just turned loose. Like, they know the system. They know the calls. Their communication these first 3 games. Like, I'm looking at the highs and lows of BYU's defense. I can't find a low the last 2 weeks. I can't find a major mistake. And how could you? They've given up 16 points. Like, they're absolutely wrecking people.
mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to go to Boulder. And this is going to be a really bad weekend for Colorado. And we'll see, because did BYU come out of that game healthy? And I am telling you right now, Isaiah Glasgow and you guys, have you seen Isaiah Glasgow play football? Honestly, in the comment section, have you seen the guy play football? I'm guessing 99% of us have not seen him play football. If you have not seen Glasgow, and if you have not seen the way that Jack Kelly is able to play freely in space because of how dominant Isaiah Glasgow is, and what Isaiah Glasgow brings, because when you look at the other guys on this defensive line, you look at the pick 6 out of Evan Johnson, and you're just like, bro, I mean, that's cool and everything. The pick 6 out of Evan Johnson was absolute terror out of the quarterback. That's all that was. Absolute domination. And I have not seen a defense in this Big 12. Now, they're not LSU. They're not. I don't even think I think Georgia's. I think Texas has the best defense in the country. If we've learned anything about Texas over the last few weeks, I think Texas has the best defense in the country. I think BYU's a top 7 defense in the entire country. And I know you guys will tell me, oh, you're just being a homer. Monty, you're fat, you're old, you're a Mormon, you're going to die soon.
Yeah,
okay.
I think
the
what's
difference
hard.
is I've watched them and you haven't.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That they're really good. I mean, there's no denying it. I think what's hard when I look at BYU is I feel like the defense. There's no question your defense is good, but the problem is I don't know how good they can be against good teams, because I don't know how good your offense is against a legitimate defense.
Well,
the reality is
now you're talking. Now
I mean, the reality is
now
like,
you're talking.
and again, I want to be accountable to what I said, what my questions were heading into the East Carolina game, because I did have questions about Bear, and he played well, and I thought that he answered the bell without a doubt, and you won that game convincingly. I agree, dominant fashion, never a doubt. Like you did what you were supposed to do. You did a good job. You handled that moment, and give the guy credit. But like, let's take a second and consider the fact that it's 16 points given up against teams that clearly, now having watched them, can't answer your offense. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, Colorado's the best test yet. I think you should beat Colorado. I think Caden Salter and that quarterback group, quite frankly, doesn't value the football and just turns it over way too much. And your defense is undoubtedly going to create 2 turnovers in that game. I have zero question about that. So with that being the case, you're on the road playing a power program. Do we see 30 points against Colorado? Is LJ Martin able to run for 100 yards against Colorado? If you come out of the Colorado game and you beat them 34-14, okay, now we can start having a conversation, right? Because I have no doubt. I agree that BYU's defense is just as talented, just as good, just as physical, like everything you need. But when they're out there, much like Utah's defense, when you're out there for an extended amount of time because your offense can't possess the football for 5 minutes at a time, that's when you start running into problems. So that's all I'm waiting to see. That's my single biggest question for BYU. Against a better defense, what can Bear Bachmeier and the offense do? And if Bear can protect the football, if Aaron Roderick, continues to call a decent game against a better team, then okay, BYU's a good team. But that's what we need to see.
I think, it's funny watching all of Bear Bachmeier's throws. There was a big jump after the bye week. There was a significant improvement just in the way he's releasing the ball. And I think if you look at the, I mean, he certainly had a better weekend than J.K. Sagapulatelli had, because that was a disaster.
But he was due for an off week, though. He had a real hot start. I would
agree with that. He had Bear was significantly better throwing the football than Bryce Underwood was, who, again, I think really struggled, again, throwing the football against Nebraska. I mean, we got to give him credit where credit's due. I mean, Bear Bachmeier is playing way better football. Whatever they did with him during the bye week, I think made a significant improvement. And I do hate a lot of the play calling. I'll be honest with you. I still hate the play calling. What I don't hate is 18 of 25, 246 and a touchdown. And he averaged 10 yards of completion. Those are solid any way you slice it. I hate his running style. He is really uncomfortable running the football. But he gave him a running touchdown, which I like. I think BYU is clearly headed for their biggest test against Colorado. But this league is in some position now where I'm like, God damn. I don't know what. I did not expect non-con for the Big 12 to be this good. I thought there would be struggles. I thought, and maybe this is just me, I mean, most of this league is going the way we thought. Iowa State, Texas Tech, but nobody knew Houston was 3-0, right? No, I don't think any of us believe that UCF would be 3-0 at this point. I don't think any of us believe that, well, hell, K-State would be, what are they, 1-3 at this point. I think all of us agreed that Oak State's a complete embarrassment and travesty of a football program. West Virginia, they're in a transition year. But I think I'm probably the only one that was telling you Baylor's a pretty average-ass football team, right? And you look at Baylor, dudes. What excuse can you make? What excuse can you come up with to defend what Baylor did this weekend? Because I'm just telling you now, if we continue to look at Arizona State, and maybe this is what it is, Arizona State just continues to win games. And you know that I am a throat stretcher for Kenny, And I am happy to continue because this guy is truly what every college football coach should be.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, we went to Camp T and we did they did like their little skits, and there's a skit that they did. It was like a little dance, fight, team, slide, we don't fold or something like that, and they're all dancing. And they took that from Camp T and they're doing that in the locker room, right? That's what football's about, football and college football, right? And even in this new era of college sports, these are still 18 to 22-year-olds who are in college to graduate, have fun, build a brotherhood, right, and build moments that last forever. They'll remember this moment, they'll remember this locker room, and that's what college sports is supposed to be about. And I know there's a lot of other factors now, but here we want to make sure that our kids get that experience that'll last a lifetime. So it means everything that college sports is supposed to be.
It moved. It twitched several times even. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I can like a college football coach more than that. And
Kenny, the ding dong.
Kenny, and I think Kenny's a Protestant. Listen, we can make room for you with the Catholics. I mean, we can.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Whatever you need me to do to get you to South Bend to coach the Catholics, Kenny, just make the phone call, man.
Damn.
I got the airfare. I got the mortgage payment. I'm here for the whole goddamn thing because Kenny Dillingham is what college football coaches are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Baylor. I don't have any more 8-ball, Wolf of Wall Street, great defensive coordinator who blows his head coach lines to drop on you about Dave Aranda and average ass Baylor football because I'm worn out on average ass Baylor football. And it's bad for this league. Mike Gundy is bad for this league. And I don't know how you fix it. Because at least at Utah, you have this unbelievable defense and they still disappoint you offensively. The problem is you're not unbelievable on defense at Baylor and you're unremarkable on offense. And the coach is stupid and doesn't know how to use timeouts to prevent teams from kicking field goals.
Because it's garbage.
And I want Baylor to be good. But you're getting beat by I think this kid is 13 years old.
I don't think I watched it go through the uprights because I knew it was in, so I just turned and started celebrating. A little bit, but at the end it's another kick. Like I said, I've done it my whole life, so it's just another kick for me.
Now,
He just curried your ass, dude.
now, you know, do you guys know who this cat is? Do you guys understand?
Pick a person when he's down.
Oh, Jesus Gomez is going to do, or excuse me, Jesus Gomez is going to do that. Do you guys understand that I think he's legitimately 17 years old or something like that?
In God's name, image, and likeness.
And he just does not have an F to give. Like the kid, it's what you want.
Facial recognition.
I want it. And I'm thrilled for Arizona
And he
State, man.
absolutely drilled that kick. Like, right down the middle.
What else is there to even say about this cat? I mean, he is a Mexican kid kicking footballs in Tempe, Arizona. The guy's living the dream, and I'm
that
thrilled.
motherfucker don't miss, man.
Right, and he's winning football games.
Me?
Your running back plays for the Giants, and he's still shaking his head like his eyeballs are going to fall out.
Bro.
Yet your kicker, who's like 14 years old, is drilling kicks to win a conference game. I love it. It's what's great about Arizona State football. It's what's for breakfast. It's what you want, right? It's such a good story. It's such a good story. And Baylor is such a bad story. Maybe Koresh incarnate could do a better job.
Butthole.
Well, maybe the acronym is you should burn it down at Baylor. No, that's probably not funny. Anyway, the point is David Koresh burned down. Hey, well, you know.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
My point is, you got to fire Dave Aranda. You got to fire Dave Aranda. And
Okay.
I don't even know what else to say.
Let's move on to the guy that really should be fired.
Listen.
I prayed for moments like that.
Brett Venables is a cheating scumbag. And he should be fired for what he did. Is that what you meant?
That was not the reference I was making. No.
Oh, the other Oklahoma travesty. You explain it to me because I can't. You lost.
Oh.
You lost to Tulsa. Every time we think Ollie Gordon's DUI was the low point, we can just hearken back to Kevin Ford, the greatest tight end that nobody's ever heard of, because Oak State James put him 6 feet under when he said he's the best tight end in the country.
Monty, it's not Kevin, it's Josh. Get it right.
And Preston Stone's cock. Listen, man. See, this is where I need my drop button. But my point is, Oak State James tweeted out.
Stay hard.
And this was a very busy weekend. I should just go to Oak State James's thing. I don't even know his Twitter. He tweeted out. Yeah, it could be hiscock.com. He tweeted out. James tweets out. Jake sends me a DM and he's like, look at James on Twitter. I think he said, check your rectum in the rectory, water to wine. Oak State James tweeted out, oh, this is a great start for Oak State. I really feel good about the team. We're winning the national championship.
Stay hard.
And then a coach who doesn't know how to use the clock was able to beat you. And I know the game was in Tulsa. Oh, wait. It was at 1951, I think it was.
Stool water.
One in since Jesus was turning water into wine. And I know the Rapture is tomorrow. Mike Gundy's going to hell. Are you kidding me with this guy? I mean, I know he's a man and he's 40.
I'm a man. I'm a man.
I know he's a man and he's 40.
I'm a man.
Does it get worse than this?
Because it's garbage.
Does it? I mean, you're not the knuckle deep boys.
Where are we at in society today?
You're just a cut above them, defending DUIs and stuff. Does it get worse than this?
How could it?
I don't think. Oh, look, Oak State James.
Oh, wait. Okay, go ahead.
Actually, I'm okay with what happened last Friday.
Dude. Well, Monty, I am okay with what happened last Friday night because the fellas showed a lot of heart.
No, they didn't. No,
I welcomed them into the rectory after the game because I saw how heartbroken they were at the half when they knew they were getting that ass beat by Tulsa.
They didn't show heart. They didn't show heart. They didn't play hard. They quit. Oak State quit. They gave up because they don't have a coach or a coaching. Oh, Monty, let me tell you something. I turned that butt buzzer all the way up, boy. When I heard they hired guys I'd never heard of, but it had jobs for like 50 million years to be our offensive. Oh, Monty, this is the best coaching staff in the Big 12. Oh, wow. And look at the Pardo, Monty. Look at this defensive tackle, boy. Turn it up, baby. Call the Walmart manager. I need new batteries for my butt buzzer, boy.
Bro, you did not just roll out butt buzzer.
Bro, they quit.
Dude.
And Kevin or Steve or Mel Ford, your tight end, who you said Bob Ford. Oh, he's the greatest. William Clay Ford's the best tight end ever. Cole Beasley's our tight end, bro. No, he's
Monty,
not.
let me play tight end.
Hugh Janus.
If Gundy doesn't take Oak State to a bowl this year, he needs to retire.
Oh, my God.
Bro, he's not going to. There was talk of firing him this weekend.
Dude.
He's not going to make the season.
Play the bite. Play the bite. Play him talking about his wife. And
I don't want to. Do I have to play? Do I have to?
You know.
I don't want. Dude, let's just not play another. Dude, you can't. There's no way. There's no way. And now I can't. Where's the bite? There is no bite. Jake, you play it. Am I blind?
Let's see. Should be
No.
no.
Well,
Okay,
we got Dabo apologizing for everything. Venables talking about cheating. Anyway, Jake was supposed to have a Mike Gundy bite, and it's not there.
Mysteriously, don't know how it's not there.
Because
But anyway,
Jake hates America. But my point is, he's not going to make the season, dude. He is not going to make the season. You can't fire Gundy now. That's $15 million. You're fucking Oak State, and you're worried about $15 million? Are you kidding me right now? You're worried about $15 million? I see, this is the stuff I don't understand. You got oil money, boy. What happened? T-Boone's up on the stadium name. And you're worried about $15 million? Get out of here. Like, just get, I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. I will. Oh, all money, boy.
yeah.
Trust me, there is a plan. They've got the money. I don't need to read the whole comment. I can just stop it. It's $15 million. I don't care if it goes down to 10. You should have fired him last summer when you were still here defending him. Because you got the problem. Here's the problem. You're brave or you're a coward. And Oak State fans, you're all cowards. You won't do it. Oh, he's Mike Gundy. Look at the bullet. Let me pet the mullet. No, how about you fire him and you win football games? It matters at some point. No, the problem is you don't matter. Oak State football doesn't matter. T-Boone Pickens money doesn't matter. None of it matters because you have a really crappy head coach who hired crappy coordinators, who recruited crappy players, and you can't even tune up a quarterback to make a throw. And you're worried about $5 million. You're trying to save $5 million. You're irrelevant. You're invisible. You're invisible. At least Brett Venables is cheating people to win games. You can't even do that because ain't nobody going to cover the wide receiver at the sideline because Zane Flores can't hit water from a boat, boy. You can't even cheat like Venables does because your quarterback can't hit it with the football.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
Damn.
Read the whole comment. Trust me, Monty. Trust but Monty. Trust. Exactly. Oak State quarterback Brian Flores adjusted completion percentage.
Damn.
I need to catch a damn ball.
I thought he looked like he lifted weights, Brian Flores.
Now, listen, his adjusted completion percentage on 3rd and 12 against Tulsa wasn't so hot, Monty.
I mean, ridiculous. All right, let's get some of your comments in here because I see you guys. A lot of them. Aaron Wilson, it's a good day to be it's a good day to be America's favorite mailman. Everybody applaud Aaron Wilson. That's right. Did you guys see? Speaking of Aaron Wilson, who always reminds me of Bucked Up, link in the description here on YouTube. Their Black Ant pre-workout is back. Get 20% off at buckedup.com using the promo code Monty. It's got my wife and I were my wife is generally, she doesn't like me. So when we have conversations, generally she talks down to me like a child.
You're so fucked.
And she was like, little Timmy, black ants crushed up into powder doesn't help anybody's peen. And I'm like, well, maybe it can change my life here.
Razzle dazzle.
My wife looks at stuff and is very
skeptical.
They have this black ant pre-workout that the best part about it is it's one scoop is 2,500 milligrams of creatine monohydrate. 2 scoops is a full day at 5,000. But it's got all of their great proprietary blend of pre-workout in it. But it's also got black ant extract in it. and people are losing their mind.
I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence.
Right? You either love the black ant extract or
I don't know. What is it supposed to do for you?
I need my drop back.
His cock.
It is. No, that's not my drop. That's your drop. My point is,
Stay hard.
it's supposed to be really good for you. Is it? I have no idea. But the black ant pre-workout with creatine in it, dude, hook it up. Use the promo code Monty. Get 20% off at checkout. Down in the description below, click the link. Aaron Wilson, good to see you. Congratulations on a huge win. Rack 'em, boy. Pew, pew. Fire it up. Aaron gifts 5 Monty Show memberships. Appreciate that. Chewy can, chew on this. Chewy's coming over to the Monty side of the line when we start talking about sports pain. The Dodgers are playing 500 baseball. Now, they're going to the playoffs. Do you pitch Shohei in the playoffs? It's a very interesting question. Very interesting question. You guys understand that we basically have, I think, 6 games left in the season? And Ohtani goes tomorrow at Arizona. And then they're considering starting him the last game of the year, depending on where they sit in the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The only thing that's holding him back is just having some stamina issues.
He looked really good.
Yeah, I think he's looked pretty good.
Dude, he is dominating on the mound.
Yeah.
Dominant. And, well, he had 5 no-hit innings the other night, and they took him out, and then they lost.
Which was the responsible thing to do. I mean, he's still coming back.
And he hit a bomb, crazy good. Crazy good. All right, boo-hoo. Utah lost. Time to pick ourselves up and get ready for West Virginia. Mountain Mama. A dangerous team is a pissed off team. You better hope so. If Dampier's really got an ankle injury, and I think there's no doubt he does, you got to make sure he gets right. Hey, the good news was Eberflus finally made the Bears look good.
Dude.
So my wife and I, she loves me. She adores me. And actually, she lauds praise on me every chance she gets. She wouldn't let me hang my Bears flag outside the house yesterday because she said it's a jinx. And she's tired of hearing me whining and complaining. And she really gets upset when the Bears lose. I crawl on the floor and curl up like a child. And I'm so fat that I block the entire walkway. So it really upsets her when she's trying to vacuum. Anyway, the point is, I didn't have to curl up on the floor yesterday. See, that was a vacuum. Women who vacuum. Okay.
Right.
And it's always good to see Matt Eberflus not in a Bears coaching outfit. You know, Kenny, in my opinion, is the best coach in the Big 12. Jake, who would you take right now as the best coach in the Big 12? Mom, gotta go Joey Maguire, boy.
Nah, I mean, he's got to get further than Kenny did, right? I mean, they had a nice win. Everyone's riding high. Seen this story before, brother. I think that Tech needs to prove that they can win a college football playoff game. And when that happens, then Joey can be the best head coach in the Big 12. But until that takes place, I think you have to go with Kenny, even though they're not where they probably would like to be right now.
Yeah, I think Kenny Dillingham's the best coach in the conference. I would agree with that. Right now, I mean, this is probably going to sound wild. I am so remarkably disappointed in Kyle Whittingham today.
How could you not be?
I don't. It's brutal. Mountain Mama. Mrs. Monty hates when the Bears lose because it makes Mr. Monty want to suckle. Yeah, she doesn't.
See what you did there? That was a Caleb Williams reference because
he wasn't in his mama's cleavage yesterday, though. How about come on. Can I at least look? Notre Dame sucks. I think we all know that. Can I at least on a weekend where USC looked really good again, and they're better than Notre Dame?
Wait, are you a closeted USC fan now?
Shut up, Jake. Can I at least get?
Venice Parade. Venice Parade.
Yeah, USC fan now. Yeah, get that throat ready. Lincoln's coming to town, boy.
I think I've hit it every time.
Can I at least get some love for Caleb Williams throwing dimes and like 7 passes that were nowhere near it? But like, come on. A flea flicker where DeAndre Swift threw like I don't even know what that was back as the flea flicker, and it almost cost Caleb his life. And then Caleb hospital balled Colston Loveland. Oh my God. But the throw to Luther Burden, who looks really good. Roma Dunes, he hit Roma Dunze right in the titties, and Rome goes into the end zone.
What's an erection?
Dude, that was a really good performance by Caleb Williams. And everybody in my Twitter yesterday, tough luck, too bad it was the Cowboys, Monty. Don't care. I don't care if it was like powder puff football. Caleb actually put a ball on a guy's body and they scored touchdowns.
Do you believe?
And the crazy part, and here's where we get delusional now, okay? And admittedly, I am not on ayahuasca, so I'm not seeing things. I believe, could be wrong, I believe the Bears offense targeted the tight ends yesterday. I know, it's the NFL. We don't do that stuff in Chicago.
You know.
But how about the fact that Colston Loveland had 3 and Cole Kmet had 1? That's 4 throws to the tight end. And Roma Dunze was targeted 7 times. How about the fact that we're using DJ Moore like a Swiss Army knife? Because how long have I been saying, give my guy a jet sweep, give my guy some misdirection, use him at running back? Hey, dude, how about that? Like Caleb, 19 to 28, would really like that percentage to be better, but 298, 11 yards per throw, 4 scores, no interceptions, rated an 8 million.
Rated an 8 million.
Pretty sure that was the rating, wasn't it?
I mean, something like that, apparently.
Doge to the moon. Isn't that what it was? Caleb
Something.
Williams to the moon.
Yeah.
I'm still a human.
Oh, God. Okay, should we maybe I should just start refunding Oak State James all of his comments.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
James, who hurt you? Right? Is this why you constantly go in the back door of the rectory?
I don't regret those decisions.
Because when you say stuff like I saw improvement, no, you didn't.
And we haven't even addressed your burner account situation, which I do think needs to be talked about.
Fields ran for 113 yards, and he had 6 catches. Who cares? You lost to Tulsa. Your coach is an embarrassment. You understand there's no improvement at Oak State. You understand that, right? On a great weekend of Big 12 football, you guys were one of the black eyes. Even Utah played one of the most entertaining games of the weekend and lost, and really didn't move the football. Utah is 3 times better than Oak State. You're the worst team in the league, and you're paying me $5 to say you saw improvement with Oak State.
What improvement?
It was Tulsa.
No, but I'm serious. What improvement did you see? I'm not even being a red ass, dude. Like what improvement? I mean, honestly, like are you referencing the 90-second drill that you did where you got tackled at the 11 to lose the game? Or like are like what? Genuinely, I don't know what improvement you're looking at. Like I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Don't know. Chewy Gonzalez, Oak State experienced the Tulsa massacre. Probably not. I don't have a burner. Oh, Dana Marie, stop it. Come on, man. Come on.
Why are you out here lying, dude?
Come on, Kevin Durant.
Are we clear on that?
Big Blue Horses, Gundy and Napier, 2 sides of the same coin.
God, we haven't even gotten to that yet.
Okay. Let's talk about Miami and Florida. Now, look, Miami won again. Carson Beck is not a good college quarterback. Now, obviously, I sat here on Friday and I done told you that Florida's defense is very good. I think we saw that in full display.
Right.
Florida's
I would
defense
agree.
is very good.
Yeah.
Carson Beck is not very good. He is, that's my one concern. I think their running game, their offensive line at Miami is very athletic. I love the way that they call plays. I think what I said about Carson Beck in the Notre Dame game came very, very true. It is though he listens to the show. You cannot count on Carson Beck in leverage situations to throw the football. And if DJ Lagway had any kind of offensive coaching, I feel like I don't think this is a DJ Lagway problem. And I know Jake disagrees with me on this, but I look at DJ Lagway and I think he is one of the most poorly coached 18-year-olds in the country. Or 19 years old, I guess, at this point. I don't even know what you do when you have a guy in Billy Napier who is supposedly a quarterback guru. And his quarterback is ill-equipped and poorly coached. I don't know why they have not fired Napes yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think there's this sense of like, hey, we're holding out hope. Like, hey, Lagway's young. Like, you know, this team is, you know, together, and like, you know, that like it's this odd thing where, yeah, you're 1-3 as a team, but we're also getting the, hey, like the team is together and everyone believes in Lagway, and like, you know, everyone believes in Napier, and like everything's still good, like culturally and vibes wise, but you're still 1-3. And so the hard part is again, just like I said Friday, I don't think DJ Lagway sucks. That's never been my thing. I just think that he's not yet been developed. So he doesn't have a lot of touch on his pass. And hello.
You froze or did I freeze?
Bro, I don't even know.
One of us froze. One of us froze. You know.
He just hasn't been developed yet. That's his problem. And so the idea that this guy, you know, has 61 yards. I mean, I agree. That's not all on him. I mean, you ran for, as a team, you ran for 80 yards, bro. Like,
and
dude,
the play calling is terrible.
Yeah,
like, it is.
It's awful.
It is almost like Billy Napier's looking at Miami's defense and saying, okay, what won't work against this defense? Call that.
Let's run it into where their linebackers are going. That seems like a good idea, dude. And it's tough because like you're watching this game and you're like, yeah, dude, like Miami's kicking the hell out of that offensive line, dude. Like that Miami defensive line was getting after it, but I can't even confidently say like, yeah, that's because they're so much better, or Miami's amazing. Like, no, that's not really what it was. It was more like, yeah, Florida just doesn't seem like capable yet. They've got Lagway, and like he's a great body, and he's very much like Bryce Underwood, right? Like big body quarterback, big arm, just hasn't been developed yet. And the team kind of follows that same issue. And I hate it for Florida fans because like you were in this game, but ultimately they pull away from you in the fourth. And I got to ask, like, where did you guys go? Where did the fight go? Like it was, dude, it was, what was it? 13-7. Like, it wasn't like you got blown out. Like, and then they put 14 up and they had that late TD really to pull away. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Lagway sucks and Florida's garbage. That's not my point today. I just feel like they're like, frankly, kind of uninspired.
Terribly coached.
Yeah.
Just really terribly coached. And I think I look at some of this stuff and I don't know how you fix the fact that, again, you have defensive ends and linebackers at Miami unblocked, just crushing DJ. And now he's in a boot. I don't know how many people saw that yesterday. So he's paying a physical price. And I think it's mainly that he's just poorly coached. And it's really unfortunate. And you know what? I watched a lot of the TCU SMU game. I felt like SMU quit in that game, and I feel like Florida quit. I feel like Florida has quit on their coach. I feel like the defense at SMU gave up against TCU. And we maybe at some point this week we can argue who the best quarterback in the Big 12 is. If Josh Hoover ain't that, I don't know. Like, there's some arguments to be had now after we saw some games this week. But I feel like in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that Florida has quit on Billy Napier because they're not playing hard. They're not playing hard at all.
Well, and this is going to get a lot uglier, right? I mean, the last thing before we get to the comments on it that I think we have to talk about is obviously the SEC schedule is coming for that ass. And you know, I like, you're 1-3 right now. I mean, with all due respect to Florida, right? Like, you're going to lose to A&M, in my opinion, unless you just get your stuff together. You're going to lose to A&M. You're going to have to grind your ass off to beat Mississippi State, in my opinion. You should beat them, but are we really confident that you will? I'm not. Then you're going to lose to Georgia. Then you get Kentucky, which theoretically is a team you should beat. But again, it's Kentucky. They've got a ton of fight in them. They're always the underdog SEC team looking to knock off the big brand. And then you're going to end the year with 3 losses: Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. So this is legitimately, from here, you're talking about not only not being bowl eligible, you're talking about struggling to have 3 wins. And we're really sitting here saying that Billy should keep this job and that somehow the players haven't given up on this season. Because if we're doing it, like if we're looking at this schedule, they're for damn sure looking at this. And by the way, DJ Lagway deserves a lot of credit, right? After the game, hey, we're doubling down essentially, right? Like, this is unacceptable. Like, I expect better. Like, we got to be better. Like, hey, dude, tons of credit. But I fear for the way this season is going to go for Florida.
I don't know how you fix it either. I really don't. And I say the same thing about Oak State, Notre Dame, Florida, like some of these fundamentally bad football teams. I say the same thing. I think Wisconsin's in that mix. I think Michigan's in that mix. I feel terrible. And I know they went and beat Nebraska. I feel really bad for Bryce Underwood because that kid's talented. He can play football. And I feel like he is just horrendously undercoached. He's young. He's got 2 more years to figure this out. And I think he will if Sharon Moore gets out of his way. Because I'm looking at a guy that was 12 of 22 for 100 yards passing. You're the quarterback at Michigan. For 2 straight years now, they can't forward pass the football. And we're just supposed to believe this is because this kid's a freshman. If you don't get an unbelievable performance out of Justice Haynes and a really garbo performance out of Dylan Raiola, and I am fully off the whole Patrick Mahomes, like I'm off of it 100%. Dylan Raiola is not that guy anymore. And I don't know. And maybe I'm being too harsh here and I'm wide open to the criticism that I'm being too hard on Dylan Raiola. This kid cannot win you a game. And there's nothing I saw against Michigan, who is not a good defense. I feel like Michigan is a very average-ass defense. And Dylan Raiola I think he looked scared. I don't know what you guys think.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I don't know what you guys think. I just feel like Dylan Raiola played scared football against Michigan, Jake. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, his biggest issue is that he's not a dominant personality on the field. You know, his biggest problem is that you know, he's all dressed up and he's got the haircut and he's got the sleeve and he's doing the Mahomes flex and all that, right? He's all about that. And he can run from this his whole life. I don't care. You're choosing to do all that stuff. And my problem is that not only do I not feel like you're a great leader for your team, if you just watch the way the team behaves around him, not only are you not a great leader, you're not a great performer. And yes, I'm sitting here criticizing a 30 of 41, 308 for 7.5 yards an attempt, which by a box score wouldn't even be that bad. That's not a bad performance at all, right? But like, especially against a Michigan defense, with all due respect. Now, they're not great, but typically Michigan has a solid defense. So, like, if you just look at the box score, you're like, what are you guys talking about, Monty? How could you be criticizing him? He looked just fine. Yeah, here's my problem, dude. You're in a place where you're trailing Michigan. You didn't get a damn thing going in this game till, like, middle of the second quarter. Like, you look uninspired, unimaginative. You look just, hey, are you here to play and win the game? Or are you guys just putting the pads on and we're just, hey, it's cool. Like it wasn't special or unique. It wasn't like you're playing a team that doesn't have a quarterback that can throw it down the field. Like how do you look this bored?
And I'm tired of hearing about, oh, his sidearm throws. Look at the angles. They live and die on the big play with him. And I understand like all of the Raiola apologists talking about how he made that throw to Barney and it was a dime. I'm not even talking about the big plays because, you know, looking at the way that he played, he just does not inspire. He won't run. He doesn't want to get hit. And when he does get hit, it's like you look at the Hail Mary, that's 52 yards worth of his throwing. And I hope you understand, Michigan's secondary is not good. They're not good. I don't know. I'm just.
Well, what's the bigger indictment? Like, if you're Matt Rule, what's the bigger indictment? You know, Justice Haynes running for 150 on you, or you losing to this team at home by 3 and Dylan Raiola not being able to do anything about it. Like,
and you losing to Michigan with a quarterback who simply cannot read defenses. He does still, again, he doesn't know where to throw the football. He looks wildly uncomfortable trying to sit back there and throw a football. You can see every time he snaps the ball, he wants to run. And they still score 30 points on you. And their secondary is not good and can't cover. And they still scored 30 points on you. And you lost the game. Do you understand that you only ran for 43 yards because Dylan Raiola is minus 49 yards? Let that sink in. This cat won't get rid of the football. He got sacked 7 times.
Oh, but Monty, this is Patrick Mahomes light. He's just running around creating for his teammates, Monty.
Is that why they had 9 tackles for loss?
Because it's garbage.
And only 3 passes defended? Dylan Raiola, and I understand, throw for 300 yards against me. This is not Michigan's best defense. Not close. They have a quarterback who can only run. And they scored 30 points on you. I don't understand. No, again, James, do you know anything about college football? He's not young anymore. No, he's not. You understand, Dylan Raiola is not young anymore.
No.
Like you got to stop with the excuse making. He's not DJ Lagway, who's inexperienced, and Dylan Raiola is 20 and he's almost 21 years old. I think his birthday's in May. He's not young anymore. Do you understand that Dylan Raiola, this is his 16th college football game? 16 college football games. He'd have made or broke by now, and I think he broke. And he's going to continue to play, and everybody is going to laud him. And I am certain that Nebraska fans think I'm some kind of jackwagon. The truth about Dylan Raiola is he's not dynamic. He doesn't understand he's got to get rid of the football. And I'm tired of hearing about how this is year 3 of Matt Rule at Nebraska. Nebraska football should be way better than they are now. Way better. If Raiola is not the problem, how come you cannot stop Michigan running the football? They ran all over you. And I understand I think they have one of the best backs in the country. You didn't realize that? They literally have a quarterback who can't read a defense and can't forward pass the football. And they scored 30 points on you. They've got systematic issues, a lack of talent at Nebraska. And it's not like, and this is the other thing. Now, I haven't gone back and watched tape on that game because, frankly, I just don't care. They're both irrelevant football teams. But watching the most part of that game, Michigan wasn't like somehow just exotic and, oh, man, look at that disguise. They had 3 or 4 guys rushing the passer the entire game. There's no disguise. There was no blitzing. There was no he's not an operator.
You had 4 down linemen and a bunch of zone, and you couldn't figure it out.
And I don't know how you fix that if you're Matt Rule, because I don't think that Dylan Raiola is their biggest problem. He's a problem. He is a problem. I say, if Baron Morton was the quarterback at Nebraska would be undefeated, and they would have blown Michigan out.
Yeah.
But you have Dylan Raiola. And I think Dylan Raiola is somebody that, I don't know, man. I want to believe in it. I want to believe in it. And I want to say that, you can figure this out. And I just don't think that you can. And again, I look at the guys, like, if I look at players that had huge weekends, like, again, Ruben Bain at Miami, I thought had the game of his life. If that cat's not a first-round pick, there should be no first round. Like, I look at Jamari Butler or Jakeem Stewart had a really great game for USC. Will Hammond, again, at Texas Tech, had great numbers. You even look at my guy, CJ Carr. You're looking at a guy that's getting really high caliber quarterback coaching. If CJ Carr is the quarterback at Nebraska, and this is how bad I think Dylan Raiola is right now, Nebraska beats Michigan. Because CJ Carr actually threw the football pretty dang well. Played good football. Like, Garrett Nussmeier played fantastic football this weekend. And let's get to Arch Manning, because I think this was the best performance of Arch Manning of the season. And Jake hates Arch Manning. Let's make something very clear. Jake wants Arch Manning to get struck by lightning right after he gets hit by a train. And listen, you can't say that about many football players in this country, but Jake says it about Arch Manning.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. Yeah, then he needs to get struck by lightning.
Only after getting hit by a train.
No, what I said is that, wow, that's great, Arch. You got your swagger back, and man, wow, dude, you looked really good against Houston. But maybe let's not taunt Houston. Maybe let me run out the whole
Sam Houston. Houston State.
Let me roll out the old narrative of act like you've been there before. Oh wait, you've never actually been there before, so that's why you're doing this. So now we get to talk about. Okay, well, I wanted to talk a bunch of junk to the defender in the end zone, and my mom said it was too far, and I got my swagger back and frustration. Okay, well, now it's time to do it against a good team, Arch. Now I want to see you talk a bunch of junk against better teams, dude. Like, that's my problem with this whole situation, dude. I absolutely, positively hate this for Texas.
Here's the Arch Manning taunting play. Here's Arch Manning talking about it.
Yeah, felt good to get back in the end zone. Probably a little much there. My mom was pretty mad about that. A little immature, but I think it's some built-up frustration for the past few weeks. So.
Now, here's why we needed this out of Arch Manning. This guy has not been good. Quite literally, outside of the last half of the fourth quarter at Ohio State, he's been one of the worst quarterbacks in college football. And I don't say that jokingly or lightly. Arch Manning, outside of the second half of the fourth quarter at the Shoe, has been one of the worst quarterbacks in college football. That all changed this week. Because again, I've seen all the throws multiple times. He ran the offense. He executed the play. And if you go back and look at the touchdown he scored, watch the way that play develops. And you'll see that Arch Manning needed that moment. And it almost felt like he fabricated it. But he knew he needed that moment. And you look at the way that he stutter stepped and spun into the end zone, and you just feel like this is when he arrived. It wasn't a thing where this was a huge opponent. It was a designed run, which he's not been good at this year. It was a designed run that he executed perfectly. And the reason he taunted the guy was there had been a ton of crap talk during that game. And do I like that he taunted a guy from Sam Houston State? No, I do not. Is that exciting? No, it is not. But it's his arrival. And he needed it. And Texas needed it. And I think when you look at the way that he handled the situation, it was not great. But I also look at the way that this cat read a defense and threw the football. And Jake, I think that's the most critical part of what you saw this weekend. And I don't think you have to love the taunting, but I think it was really important for Texas that he taunt that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's great energy. Like it was a great moment for him. Yes, but there's this balance you have to strike when you're playing for a team like Texas. And this doesn't just apply to Texas. This would apply to Julian saying it right? This would apply to any quarterback at a program that has college football playoff expectations. So you're playing against a team that you should clearly beat. And you're right. They were talking junk, and we see this all the time. This is not new. This is not somehow foreign to us. And the thing that just stood out to me was like, okay, cool, man. Like you beat the piss out of Sam Houston, 55-0. Had a great moment. Feel good about it. Okay, great. But what's the conversation against Florida? What is it unfair of me to say, okay, if you have that energy against Sam Houston, I want that same level of energy against an SEC opponent that you should beat. Make no mistake about it. That's a good defense. Good defense. You're Texas. You should beat this team. They're 1-3. Bad coaching. We've been over this.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's unfair of me to be like, hey, I want to see that same type of fired up, play, like as you said, right? Running the play the way it's meant to be run. I want Florida to be, 250, 280, run the offense how it should be, that's what I want to see. And that was my only problem with this situation. I don't even 3 weeks ago, we were talking about the NFL no taunting rule or whatever. I don't have a problem with taunting. In fact, I think it's Bush League that the NFL has done this whole officiating thing. I just want you to do it against someone that's on your level as a program. So he'll get that opportunity against Florida.
Yeah. And I think Joey Harper's point, here's where Arch Manning's gotten better. And I think this is huge. He's driving the football to the target now. And it's funny. This is the same thing I see in CJ Carr, Bear Bachmeier, and now Arch Manning. You can see Arch Manning was kind of back here, right? And now he is here. Like that body forward, confident, drive the football. There were several throws. The last couple, the UTSA bomb, that play, I think it was UTSA down the sideline there. You just are starting to see it. And now in the Sam Houston game, it almost doesn't matter who the opponent is. You needed Arch Manning to look mechanically sound. You needed Arch Manning to look like somebody who understands that he's 12 inches wide, right? This is going to hurt, ma'am, right? That's what we needed out of Arch Manning. And I think we finally got that against Sam Houston. Now, as Mountain Mama said, it's Sam Houston. Congratulations. But I think you needed that. Or UTEP, not UTSA. The bomb against UTEP, that's the one where you were like, maybe you have something. He still only threw for 114 yards in that game. Arch Manning was 18 of 21, 309, 3 touchdowns. Like, just ran for 2 touchdowns. They score 55 points, and he's responsible for 35 of the 55. Right? That's something that we had not been seeing out of him. So
agreed.
I think that's a big one. Roquette. Boy, you had a shitty weekend of football. Holy cow. Might want to change that avatar, boy. Rough weekend. Hit the like button. Yes, please do. Joey B, the backdrop behind Monty, before we couldn't see any letters, now we can. Well, I'm trying to, like, the camera's a little different today, you know, working on some stuff, working on some light. You guys didn't even notice the lighting change, did you?
That's how good it was.
We spent a bunch of money on lighting and stuff, and look how much better it looks now. Oh, it's not the Zepbound. I wish it was a Zepbound. I wish it was the Zepbound. Although last week, it's funny. My wife is straight up, in all seriousness, she's concerned I'm not eating enough. And I'll be honest with you, I use Zepbound, and it's been a problem. Like, I am never hungry. I don't think about food. Like, we went out for lunch today. We ran out to get a sandwich today, and I had a tuna sandwich, and it was really good. And I just am like, you got to eat this. I'm not hungry. Do you want to get a sandwich? And you just have to force yourself to eat it. And it's like, I know now it's, 4:42 Mountain Time. I probably won't eat again. I'll probably have some grapes after the show.
And that's all you've had?
That's it. I had a, like, my wife sends that bound as well. And so she didn't finish her oats. So I ate about, I don't know, a third of her oats, and then had half a cup of oats of my own, and then ate that sandwich. But you're just not hungry. That's the weird thing about the addiction of food. I am as sure as I can be sitting here. I was addicted to food. I was food addicted. There's no doubt. I don't crave anything. I don't crave sugar. I don't crave baked goods. We were at a huge wedding party over the weekend, and my wife, they had, it was a 1-year anniversary party for our friends. And it was like a big Sikh wedding party. And so they had like a bunch of Indian food, and like, I love, what's the bread called? Not challah bread. Like pita bread chopped in the triangles almost. And I love that stuff. And the lady who cooked this food is the best Indian food I've had at somebody's house probably ever, because I don't eat it a lot. But she made like this chicken marsala. It was really good. And usually what I'll do is I'll take the chicken marsala and put it on the pita. And I only had like 2 of them. And it just, because you're just not hungry. And I can't remember the name of the other things, the little pockets of dough filled with greatness. They were really good. Like, the food was excellent, but you're just not hungry. And then they cut the cake, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to have any. Just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love cake. I love donuts.
Or you used to.
I just don't eat it anymore.
Yeah.
And the odd thing is, real quick before we get back to the comments, the odd thing is, I've gone through these stretches. This is my second full month on Zepbound. I've gone through these stretches where I'll have a week I just don't lose weight. Don't know how to explain it. And last week I didn't lose weight. I was moody. You guys will laugh at me. Like, see, I told you, Monty. I was at time moody, emotional. Like, we were playing golf on Saturday morning, and I was like, I wasn't playing bad, actually. I wasn't playing that bad. I don't practice golf right now. I just don't have time. So I had a couple of errant iron shots, and I was just saying to myself, what are you so upset about? Like, you hit this great drive on the first hole, and it's just weird. And then I don't even know if I can say how I fixed it, because I had I took the kids to the swimming pool.
Oh.
And
was there a release?
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. I took the Browns to the Super Bowl, and it's like I flushed all these toxins out of my body. And
new man.
It's just weird. So I got on the scale this morning and I'm losing weight again. It's weird to me. It is just the whole mental BS behind losing weight is.
It's hard, man.
It's weird. Mike Smith, he did a banana on the tailpipe to fix it. Beverly Hills Cop. Melancholy Monty, dude. I'm already an emotional cat. I run hot all the time. Whether I'm talking about sports, you guys watch this show. I run hot about anything. And I think I honestly think I make my wife crazy because I tend to be.
I try to stay calm and not curse.
No, I'm not. I don't get mad easy, but there are times where I'm just like, I'll say to my wife, like, dude, I'm just emotional over nothing. It's weird. And maybe I'm just getting older and I'm going through an end of life crisis. The Rapture's tomorrow. So the world's coming to an end. I guess I don't care. I should probably just eat all the donuts.
Monty, listen, the Rapture's going to happen. And tomorrow, this time tomorrow, Monty's going to be doing the show from a set up in the clouds. What a spectacle.
Dude, if you guys follow me on TikTok, whatever these idiots on the we'll talk about the Rapture next hour. Do you hear the things you guys say? Do you hear the words coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, I've seen improvement out of Oak State, dude.
Exactly. Because James is getting raptured tomorrow. Right? Like, I just don't, yeah, I guess it's non-bread. I don't know what you call the bread. But it was really good. And my wife is actually but bros, real quick on food. Because then Kay Nuren's been married for like 100 years. We got to talk about that. Okay, so I can eat this Indian food that literally this gal at this wedding said, oh, they whited it down for you. She didn't make it spicy at all.
They whited it down for you.
My wife quite enjoys outing me as Caucasian when it comes to spicy food. So we're sitting around this table. We're at this table with like a dichotomy of humans. There's a gay couple, 2 dudes sitting at this table with us. There's a woman who's married, but her husband wasn't there. On the other, had a long conversation about Hinge on Saturday night.
Let's do it. Come on. Come on. We need some levity, dude.
Where do you think? So this girl who I've never met, and it was dark and I'm blind, so I can't tell you if she was attractive or not. She was dating on Hinge.
What's up, big bro?
She gets a date. She connects with a dude who she's now with long-term. Where do you think they went on their first date?
Chipotle.
Dog park.
Okay.
She's like, oh, I shared my location with my roommate, and he and I went to the dog park. Where'd you go on your first Hinge date, Jake?
I mean, I've done the park before.
You took the dog for a walk. That's where you went on a first date.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the crazy girl? You and her went for a walk with the dog.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
Yep.
Is this a thing now? Where you go like?
What do you mean? Is it a thing? What do you mean?
Well, because I asked her. I said to her, and you want to hear something genius, and then I swear we'll get back to football. We had a conversation on the show last week about who pays for the first date.
Yeah.
This girl is saying that she tells the dude that I'm going to, let's not argue, or no, a guy told her, if there's going to be a second date, I'm going to pay for this date. I'm picking up the tab. But if I ask, if we split the bill, there's not going to be a second date. Let's just agree. At the end of the date, we're going to decide how we're going to pay for it, and that'll determine if we have a second date. That's brilliant. Just get it out the way, right before the check comes and there's awkwardness.
So what did the girl said this was her idea?
No, the guy told her on their first dinner date. Listen, if there's going to be a second date, I'm going to pay for the bill. But if we're talking about it and we're going to split, there will be no second date. If we decide there's no second date, we're going to split the check.
Yeah.
And I think it's brilliant to get that out there because it lets you know right away. Well, hey, are we going to go back to the car and smash faces? Or,
If you guys ever want to kick it, we'll flow.
We're going to trade canker sores, or what are we going to do here? No, I'm paying for it. There's a second date. And if the girl doesn't,
you don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on.
Right? You flush and move on. And if the girl doesn't want a second date, she's like, no, really, let's split the check. With all due respect, Marty. Right? It's brilliant. It takes all of the awkwardness and the pressure away. It's brilliant. I absolutely love the concept of splitting or not splitting the check to determine if there will be a second date. I think it's absolute. This is what we need. But I am shocked at how many people are using Hinge.
Why?
Because all of them, even the gay couple was like, yeah, we met on Hinge. What? Brother. It's amazing to me how many people do not talk face to face. And
it's just not the way anymore.
That's what they said.
She's not the way.
It doesn't work like that. And she was even talking about, she does these ultra marathon things. And she's like, I don't want people hitting on me at the gym. I don't want and they just.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's terrible. People do not. That is not the culture anymore, bro. You're on the dating app for dates, and you're at the gym to lift weights or run on the treadmill or whatever the hell you're training for.
Yeah, this gal straight up said she hates it when guys hit on her at the gym. And I said to her, I don't know a guy in my life who would hit on a girl at the gym. Because I think there's still
the girl at the gym who dresses like she wants to be. That's the thing. That always takes place at the gym.
Oh, wait. Is a gym crush a real thing? Like, you think it's a real thing that guys go to the gym to hit on girls?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People, the homie texting me saying, if you're going to the gym to get laid, you're probably some kind of perv. And I totally agree with that.
I agree too.
I totally agree with that. If you're going to the gym to pick up girls, you're a perv. That's as simple as I can make it.
I agree completely.
K. Nurin. Yes, BYU will keep winning with defense 10-2. And Kay, I told you, I think Bear Bachmeier is developing. And again, I think coming out of the bye, there was something different in his release. There is something different about the way the ball is coming off the hand. He's incredibly well coached. I think that's what I took away from watching Bear against ECU. He's incredibly well coached. Now, let's not go crowning them. They should be in position in November to win a couple of games here, win this game. You'll play for a conference championship. I think they're going to be in that position in November, because I also think their schedule is not great. If we're being honest, if you look at BYU's schedule, and it sounds like you have doubts, Jake, but listen to their schedule. When I say they'll have a chance, they play at Colorado, West Virginia. They should be 5-0. At Arizona, I think that's a tougher game than people think, but I think they'll be 6-0. The Utah game is where you start running straight uphill both directions in the snow. Utah, at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, TCU, who was awesome this weekend, at Cincinnati, UCF.
Yeah, you lost all three of those games. You lost to Iowa State.
You
lost to Tech, and you lost to TCU.
I don't know. David Persons for $5 after TCU beat SMU. Refs 14. Does the Big 12 have an officiating problem? I saw that Utah game was one of the most poorly officiated games. And I don't think it was uneven. I think they need to go back to school and teach them how to spot a football. I don't know how many, even in the TCU game, there were some really bad spots. Like, who do you have winning the TCU Arizona State game on Friday? I got to take Arizona State. I think the little intangible stuff, I think Josh Hoover's playing the best quarterback in the conference right now. Is he the best quarterback? Time is going to tell that. I think he's playing the best quarterback in the conference. it's going to be another Jesus Christ Gomez kicking a field goal game. Honest to God, I think it very well might be that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel super confident in Arizona State winning that game. I think it'll be a close game. My concern is their ability to score enough to keep up with TCU.
But it's in Tempe.
I know.
So
I know.
The line, I think the line, and I can look the line this morning.
2.5 to ASU. It's 2.5 to ASU right now.
It opened up at 1.5. I saw it this morning at 3. And yeah, ESPN Bet has it at 2.5 ASU.
Yeah.
So it's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em. And I think, David, you're going to have every chance to win that game because Hoover just keeps you in games. And I honestly think SMU quit on Rhett Lashley. I think they quit in that game. I saw a lot of dudes who ran out of try hard, who ran out of want to for SMU. So, and I know it says Dallas on the front of their shirt. Maybe you ought to change that to Fort Worth because that's now where you're money. I mean, TCU is a genuinely good football team, and Hoove is a really good quarterback. Jagoff of the weekend, UAB guy who stepped on that. Did you guys?
Yeah, that's a douche move, dude.
That was, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's low cash.
I've never seen that. Yeah, it is. That was one. I agree. Joey, I think that's exactly right. Hey, real quick, while we got Joey sitting here, bro, the Seattle Seahawks are contenders in the NFC. And again, I'm just going to continue to tell you Kyle Shanahan is the quarterback guru. Sam Darnold is genuinely a transformational quarterback. And you look at the guys he's been around. He went from Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, and now he is an absolute stud as a quarterback. And I think if you are a JJ McCarthy fan, the one hope you have is who his head coach is. Because did you guys see how well Carson Wentz played yesterday? And I know that everybody freaked out when I said that I think the Vikings will be much better with Carson Wentz than with JJ, but tell me that I wasn't exactly right about that. Because that offense looked dangerous. And it looked to me that Carson Wentz knew exactly where to throw the ball and wanted to, and JJ McCarthy does not.
I also think that, Carson's got years of experience too, in all fairness.
But does Michigan have a quarterback problem?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we've seen that. And we're still seeing it.
Do they make quarterbacks at Michigan?
No.
I don't think they do.
Michigan is not quarterback you. And anybody telling you that is high. You're running back you. You are offensive and defensive line you. And I would even go as far as to say you do a really good job putting DBs in the league as well. But you are not, by any stretch of the imagination, QBU.
Yeah, I think, and this is my opinion, I think if you are a Michigan fan, you had really better hope that Bryce Underwood does not leave this program after this season. This has been an incredibly difficult beginning for Bryce at Michigan. They've played in multiple big games. And while it's not, I wouldn't say he hasn't been a factor, his arm has not been a factor. At least the Oklahoma game, it was a negative factor. I think the biggest concern I would have is that Bryce is going to transfer because I think Sharon Moore is a terrible head coach. I mean, I am by no means a Michigan fan. I think you all know that. I think Bryce Underwood, there's a real danger he's not going to be there. And the scary thing is he's really talented. He's the beans, dude. Like, he is a guy that
needs development and coaching
as much as he can get. And I think, and it's actually nice in my friend circle to hear Michigan fans now saying, yep, Sharon Moore's probably not the guy. We need to get through this darkness. And then probably after next season, you'd fire Sharon Moore. But if you do that, if you do not make major changes at Michigan after the season, do you lose Bryce Underwood? Because if you lose him and he goes, because my guess is if Bryce Underwood's in the portal, I think he would be the number one quarterback in the portal. And if he winds up in college, if he winds up at a place like a Clemson, you're screwed. Because if he winds up at a place like an Alabama, a Florida State, somewhere where they'll let him throw the football and they'll develop him and teach him and fix whatever this, he has this thing where he pulls that elbow in, like, that would really scare me if I were a Michigan fan. I'd be really, really worried that we've turned into a running back and defensive line university. And if that's the case, I'm not predicting that Bryce is going to leave there. I think it's a real possibility, though. I mean, you can just see he's not getting better. You're Sharon Moore ain't that guy. And I think when you start looking at the way this is going down, like I look at the Dabo thing. I think it's time. Like, in all seriousness, I think it's time for Dabo to move on.
I mean, disappointing, painful. I mean, hurt. I mean, I'm human. I mean, I'm not a cyborg. I mean, this is my life, man. I mean, I've been here 23 years. I love this place. I give this place the very best I got every single day. Every day. There's never been a day that I haven't given Clemson every ounce of everything I had. I hurt. I mean, I'm invested my life here. And when I don't get the job done, I'm responsible. And I feel the pain. You know, it's not just my pain. I feel everybody's pain.
Then how come you don't have a defense? And I've told you I have kind of matriculated down the field into a Cade Klubnik believer. He proved me right this weekend. And you got absolutely carnivored by Steve Angeli and then Ricky Collins. Ricky MFing Collins. And they ran for 157 yards. Syracuse ran for 157 yards on Clemson. So is it Cade Klubnik or is it Dabo? Is it this week it's the defense, last week it's the offense? Like, I think you got to really seriously think about maybe that they just need a change there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, Clemson's a team that really should be better, you know, and they're just not. And you know, whether it's Dabo or Gundy or whoever, like these guys, you know, like obviously the Gundy situation's a lot worse than the Dabo situation, but ultimately you're basically the same team. I mean, you're not winning, you're not, you know, you're not achieving expectations. And, you know, it's a rough look when, you know, during the week you're like, hey, what's wrong with our program? And then you get your ass handed to you like that. I mean, that's just, you know, that's really just a rough, you know, situation. And ultimately, the ACC is Florida State and Miami. And that's about it. Like, I don't know where else you go. Like, I think it's harsh to say, hey, like, you need to fire Dabo. But I do think that there is a really reasonable conversation to have about, like, hey, man, like, the portal is changing. Portal's coming up here. Like, what are we doing? Like, how can we change this? How can we move in the right direction? Because ultimately, the ACC is a very gettable conference, man. I mean, honestly, like,
Jake, bro, they racked up 503 yards of offense and only scored 21 points.
Yeah.
Do you guys understand? Clemson had 503 yards of offense and they scored 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up 435 to Syracuse. You cannot make this up. And then you go back and say to yourself, well, we almost lost to Troy. Right? And then I go back to the loss at Tech, and I'm like, wait a minute. You had 381 yards in that game, and you only scored 21 points. I don't know what's broken there because it ain't Cade Klubnik. I think that dude is legit. I think it's Dabo Swinney. And I think that is really tough.
Yeah.
Gooby24, is that a black Apple Watch Ultra, Monty? Oh, yeah, it is, my friend. How do I get this on the screen? Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I love it. I love my Ultra Watch, too. I have natural titanium on the black so bad. Have you had issues with it scratching? No, and I am not gentle. I play golf with it. I lift with it.
It's never really in a position to be scratched, though. I think if you have, if you have an Ultra and you've got, a dog or you got kids or like, you work in some kind of field that your hands get dirty a lot. I think that's when, you have to start worrying about that type of thing. But I mean, if you're, white collar worker, and you just want a good looking Apple Watch, I think the Ultra is fantastic for that.
Yeah,
outside of its benefits, obviously.
I think absolutely. I think I love the Ultra, dude. It is really accurate. You know what I got this weekend? I got the new AirPods, and I had a handyman at my house over the weekend. And the translate feature on iPhone, I am fighting a body shaking sneeze. The translate feature on iPhone works perfectly. It's really cool. If you're not on iPhone or iOS 89, I guess, what is it? iOS 26.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're crazy. It is so cool. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes of it. But yeah, I love the Ultra, man. I do. Conundrum says the portal opens in 14 weeks, Dabo. Seriously. Scott, how are you? Clemson made the playoffs last year.
Does anyone remember that?
Do you remember what happened in the playoffs last year? They're broken, dude. That's the only thing I can say about it. They're broken. Over under 6 coaches getting fired. Oh, the wheel's spinning. Did you see the money that Va Tech got? You think people want to spend money on athletics? They do. So is the Big 12. The Big 12 what? Broken? I don't think that's the case. Short bus. Recruiting is dead. Now it's about retention. Truth. No doubt about it. That's my Bryce Underwood point. Like, I really worry about Eric. You can't tell me you're not worried about Bryce leaving. I mean, that's scary. What about the Oklahoma-Auburn officiating fiasco? Well, I think they should have to give that game up. I think Oklahoma should have to give that win up. There is no doubt about it. Oklahoma cheated to win that game.
We were on the field. We asked the official we're lined up, we're on the ball, everything's good and legal. So we're in a big hurry or anything like that. So yeah.
So this is 100%. This is 100% cheating. This is 100% cheating. What they did. Oklahoma ran a guy off the field, and then he stopped at the sideline and then ran a wide receiver route and scored a touchdown. And I think it is heinous. It is wrong. It is not the right thing to do. And it is strictly forbidden in the rule book, and they did not call it a penalty. And those officials, again, I told you this was a weekend of just terrible officiating. Those officials should be fired. That linesman should be fired. And Oklahoma should have to vacate that win. Because it is absolutely, to me, it is the reason they won the game. And it is exactly what's wrong with football now, that this is the scumbags in Michigan freely willing to cheat to win games because they couldn't do it on their own. And I look at Oklahoma now as the same way. And I think Brent Venables should be better than that.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's not say that they're on the same level as Michigan. I mean, they weren't advanced scouting, right? You weren't, stealing people's signs in an illegal fashion and, having an entire scheme built around it. But I agree, the intention. Yeah, the intention though is incorrect, and yeah, I think what's worse is the line judge is standing there doing nothing about it, and I just don't understand that. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes I wonder like what the officials in the moment are actually looking at, like because obviously they're all trained on like their position on the field and where their eyes should be, and so you have the guy running off. But then he stops. I mean, this is akin to in the NBA when Alvarado in New Orleans, did his whole thing where he hid by the bench and then, stole the ball from behind you and took it back to the hoop, right? I mean, this is the same type of scheming type situation that we see all the time in sports. And yeah, I mean, it is clearly forbidden. That's not even up for debate. I mean, it's black and white that you can't do that, and they still did it. And yeah, I mean, I think the game turned at that point. So I don't know. Why
isn't everybody cheating?
I don't know.
No, they're doing nothing about it. They're doing absolutely nothing about it, and I think it is absolutely wrecking the game of football. That you allowed Sharon Moore to coach at Oklahoma. That I mean, the financial penalty Michigan is going to pay here is stupidly massive. But you basically said Sharon Moore gets a slap on the wrist for covering up, and Jim Harbaugh will never coach in college football again. All right, good luck. Go about your business now. That's what you did. And you're telling Brett Venables he did nothing wrong. And you're allowing him to lie, and I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. Mike Smith, if Underwood is not that good, why would he be worried about him leaving? Well, because nobody said he's not that good. What we've said is it's not a lack of talent. The coaching staff at Michigan is not good. They're not improving him. You can see he's got both mechanical and mental issues throwing the football. And it's not 1 year now. It's really 2.5 years where Michigan just has not been able to throw the football. Can't forward pass the football. Oh, Sharon Moore. Oh. Yeah, he sucks. And the problem is, guys like Bryce Underwood, you've paid this kid a ton of money, so you work for him. That's the reality of it. You gave him the keys to the kingdom, and now you're not making him a better quarterback. And when guys like that get frustrated, and you can clearly see he's frustrated, when you watch him when he throws a football. There was a throw this weekend where he let it go and he leaned back almost like that. Like, oh, uh-oh. He knows he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows he doesn't know what he's looking at. And he's hearing it because he's throwing for 80 yards, 100 yards for the entire game. And I think that he's talked openly about wanting to throw the football. He wants to be a quarterback. And Michigan doesn't make quarterbacks. And I think the biggest issue is, and this is probably going too far, because I don't think Michigan was they weren't over the top good, or they ran all over Nebraska, to be sure. Was Michigan better without Sharon Moore? Because they were certainly better in this game than they were against Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma has an elite defense. But weren't you better without Sharon Moore than you were with him?
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely more dominant in the run game. There's no doubt about that.
Didn't you commit? Because that's all that you could tell. They came into the Michigan game or into the Nebraska game like, go ahead and hand that off. And it's very clear, and I'm curious how Michigan adjusts to this. It's very clear that they really like that guard kick out to the left. They like Bryce running left through, and it's not really a gap. It's a forced A to C gap, like the big touchdown run he had. You look at the way the line moved. They just ran over Nebraska. Like they just crushed them. And Bryce went unmolested, not at Penn State, into the end zone, right? So I don't at all think and I've tried to go out of my way and tell you this, I don't think it's a talent problem with Bryce Underwood.
You said he's terrible, Marty.
I think he's not getting coached at all. I think that and I think they're going to wind up running the football, and that's great. That's going to win you some games, but you're not going to win at a very high level running the football in college football these days. That's just not. We're looking at that at Texas, right? Why has there been so much pressure? Because that offense is built to throw the ball. And it's you look at the best teams in the Big Ten. Julian Saint's the best quarterback in the Big Ten by far. Although what Indiana did this weekend was pretty impressive. I'm going to be very interested to see how they beat the hell out of Illinois. Now, are you going to be able to do that at Oregon in 2 weeks? I don't know. Is Oregon going to survive knuckle deep country this weekend?
The biggest load that we've seen.
Could be some crime committed there. We'll find out. But the thing about Indiana is they have a cupcake schedule. The thing about Michigan is they've got more of a cupcake schedule.
Yep.
Right. They've got, I think, Wisco in 2 weeks. They're off this week. They go to Wisconsin. Should just look it up. Then it's like LA and I know that Washington. Okay. It is. Yeah. It's Wisconsin. They're off this week. Wisconsin on the 4th. At USC, Washington, at Michigan State, Purdue, at Northwestern, at Maryland, and then they have a cupcake schedule. Cupcake schedule. The question is, can they go to LA and win? Because I don't know if you guys noticed, somebody forgot to tell Lincoln Riley that USC sucks. Because apparently they got the message and absolutely thumped Michigan State. Now, the scary part is Michigan State put up 31 points in that game. And I mean, I think they had 330 something yards, Michigan State. It's not scintillating defense, right? I mean, it's not. And that game was at the Coliseum on grass. But if you start looking at the numbers, you want to hear efficiency? Jaden Mayava was 20 and 26, 234 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Gonna say it's efficient.
Did I mention they ran for 289 yards? Yeah. USC's offense is legit. Now, it'd be nice if their defense could give up less than 31 points.
My aunt or my uncle, and Lincoln Riley's my head coach.
They gave up 7. Well, and then, what am I supposed to say about? I don't want to talk about it. Shut up, Marcus.
We tried cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. And what happens is you start to panic and you start to say, okay, this coverage isn't working. Let's try this. This isn't working. Let's try this. And then you're doing nothing. You've got to, they're going to make plays. They're going to make some plays. And you got to trust that, hey, this is what our game plan is. This is what we can do and execute. And then you got to trust your players to go out there and get it done.
Who are you, Brian Kelly, banging on the dais?
Hey, asshole, you gave up 30 to Purdue.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh, my, Marcus. Marcus on that defense. Yeah, how about 30 to Purdue? Oh, wait, but that's Purdue. How about 41 to Texas A&M and 27 to Miami? Carson Beck, who's feckless, you gave up 27 points. And then 41 to Texas A&M with a quarterback who ain't that impressive. And okay. Marcus, I get it. My ex in my ex inbox in the comment section says I'm way too hard. We won the game. Marty, we're 1-2. It's Purdue. And you gave up 30 points. Per won't win another game. You gave up 30 points. Oh, but Marcus, and now he played the Bears, and who cares? I want to win national championships. You can't do that losing your first 2 and the season's over.
We don't take any shit.
And now we're supposed to believe we're going to go to Arkansas, who should have fired their coach already. He'll get an extension after the Notre Dame win. That'll happen. And you think I swear to God, If we lose to Boise at the stadium, I will drive out there. I swear to
Well,
God.
Monty, this is just the NIU of this year, Monty. There's no problems.
Dude, you guys understand, Boise State has scored 100 points in their last 2 games. They're going to score 100 points on Notre Dame.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Assholes. Like,
now, if they lose to Boise State, are you firing him before he even gets to the tarmac?
Dude, at what point can we start talking about it without, oh, Monty, you can't say that about Notre Dame. Watch me. At what point can we have an honest discussion about the fact that Notre Dame has regressed significantly? And you know what the worst part of it is? You know what the worst part of it is? CJ Carr's actually turning into a quarterback now.
Moving in the right direction, Morty.
10 of 12, 223 and 2 touchdowns. Now it's 12 passes, and it's Purdue.
Yeah, it's 223 though on 12 passes.
And you actually got 157 yards out of Jeremiah Love, who I know we don't give the ball to in big games. Jadarian Price, 74 yards. The price is right, as all the Notre Dame fans like to say. The price is right. 5 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Garbage time for Kenny Minchie. Dude, I don't want to hear about it. The fact that you can't cover, can we now say you gave up 303 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns? Can we now say that Notre Dame can't cover? Do you believe me? Now, when I say it's not luck anymore, we suck at covering. And the shine needs to be off Marcus. The shine needs to be off Marcus, period. Like, I don't understand why we keep filleting the guy.
Well, because it's Marcus Freeman, Morty. He's young. He's who you want.
Sure is. Congratulations. We have a young coach who can't teach defense and doesn't know how to cover. And I cannot tell you how many holes there are in our zone. And it's
terrible.
Joey Harper. Ohio State better not go to Seattle and take Washington lightly. Dude, the Seahawks are legit. So is Washington. Steely, Marcus Freeman will never win a natty. Ever. Conundrum, Monty hates certain types of head coaches. You're saying I don't like black head coaches. Okay, well, Marcus Freeman can't coach defense. Sharon Moore's a lying, cheating, bad quarterback coach, and James Franklin covers up sexual assault.
James Franklin's 1 in 10, dude.
Other than that,
come on.
I think
dude.
James Franklin's a great head coach. I think
What's to like?
That's what I'm asking. Like, what is it that? Okay, so you're insinuating I don't like black guys, which is why I will never read another one of your comments. But my point is, what's to like about either of the 3 of those coaches? Marcus Freeman doesn't recruit quarterbacks and cannot teach guys to cover. Other than that, he's great. He just gave up 30 points to Purdue, who quite literally cannot score points. Wasikowski, Lions, Ravens. I don't think you have much of a chance. I have a lot of concern for the Lions. And my biggest issue with the Lions right now is I am really quite concerned. You guys still give up big plays, right? And what I want to figure out about the Lions, was it the Packers or was it the Bears? Because the Packers fell back to earth like one of Elon's rockets.
Except the landing wasn't as good.
And one of the things that concerns me is this Lions offense tends to get away from the run. And one of the things that I think is so clear is when you have a statue quarterback, and I'm a Justin Herbert fan, so you better be able to run the football and you better be able to release the ball quickly. And Jared Goff does neither. And the Lions tend to get away from it. And in this game against an elite defense, this is one of the things that I'd kind of be worried about. Can you win a game coming from behind? That's something I think you really should watch for in this game. Because I don't know that any of us recognize, but again, was it the Bills or the Browns for the Ravens? They lost to the Bills. They pounded the Browns. This is going to be really interesting because I would also point out Baltimore's +1 at home. At least this morning when I looked at the line, I should check.
They are, still +1.
No, Baltimore's -4.5 in that game. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread that. No, you're correct. -4.5 for
4.5.
Baltimore. They had ESPN updated their, like, you know how ESPN tells you where the game's going to be? It says ABC and then +1. So I just misread it. That's my fault.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Should be a good game. Hopefully it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is. No conundrum. You didn't strike a nerve. You know what the issue is? You're already a guy that is on the line and you say ridiculous stuff. And then when you accuse me of being a racist, I mean, I just don't have, I don't have patience for it. So, I just have no use when you make ridiculous statements like, I don't like black head coaches. It's time for you to go. An average having you. Big Daddy Magic. Really, you can't say that about Monty. Yeah, I don't need anybody to defend me. I can defend myself. Short bus. Notre Dame is ranked because they played Miami close and barely lost to A&M. If Notre Dame had run the ball more, they could have beaten A&M. No, we just couldn't pass the ball effectively.
Yeah, and I don't think it has anything to do with any of that as far as why they're ranked. They're ranked because they're a national brand that the CFP wants in the CFP.
Totally agree. Notre Dame's not one of the 25 best teams in the country in any way, shape, or form. If the 49ers keep winning, they won't have a team at the end of the year. They will win games but lose a starter, dude. What do you say about Mac Jones? I mean, now he's hurt. But how good has this guy been? And again, what am I going to say about Mac Jones? Bad quarterback who now all of a sudden hung out with Kyle Shanahan and, well, goddamn.
Looks a little better.
I'm telling you, there are guys in this league, if you're a quarterback you want to play for, and there are certainly guys you don't. And if you look at Kyle Shanahan, if you need to start off well, Brock Purdy, or you need to resurrect yourself, Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, go play for Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, and I think this injury bug situation in the NFL, not just for the 49ers, but just like obviously the 49ers have some injuries, but just overall, like the ACL is getting done this year, the Achilles, like
how about both out for the year?
That James Conner play was absolutely nasty, bro.
How about the CeeDee Lamb ankle?
The CeeDee Lamb ankle thing. Give the guy credit. High ankle sprain. Tried to play.
Real quick, because Caleb didn't get in the titties yesterday because we won.
Right.
So anybody, you guys remember that I've taken like an ass kicking over my Dak defense on this show? Dak threw an interception yesterday that hit Pickens in the hands. Off the hands, right to a defender. How many times? I'm telling you.
We're waiting. We will wait for an explanation.
And I love my Chicago Bears. Dak was 31 of 40. 250, a touchdown, and two interceptions. And I think it's wholly unfair. You throw, what is that? 21 of 40, 31 of 40 is 78% completions. And they lost. And
77.5. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And I am amazed by it. I'm amazed by it. I don't know. I don't know why all these injuries are happening. But we've talked about this too. The 49ers have an unbelievable injury list. And Brocktober, I guess, has a chance to play this week. Mac Jones is dealing with this knee injury. He's had it for a minute.
Yeah.
But now Bosa's out again. Second time he's torn his ACL. That's really rough. That's a huge loss for them. Fred Warner, I think, is playing out of his mind. out of his mind. And what they have with Winters and Warner at linebacker, man, that is a special, special combination. But if you don't have a quarterback, and I look around this league, and I think Kyler's a really good example of this. 22 of 35, 159 yesterday.
Yeah, and why is that? Why is that? Because Marvin Harrison can't catch a football.
How do you explain how crappy that guy
That's
is?
probably – I don't think it's a Kyler issue even a little bit. I mean, that's probably a 250, almost 300-yard performance if Marvin Harrison's catching footballs. Hitting them in the hands.
Yeah.
Can't catch the ball. Like,
But I'll
no
tell
idea.
you, I had the under on Kyler at 270 or 217. I think I had the under, and it hit.
Yeah.
And I man, what a weekend on Prize Picks, you guys. Holy cow. NFL, I had Mac Jones over 264. I think he went for 285. I had Dak at 1.5 passing touchdowns. I had Dak at one. What did I have Dak at? Let me look here.
Get the old telephonic device out.
Yeah, I had Dak at 1.5 interceptions. He threw 2. I had in the best, I think the best hit of the weekend that I am most proud of is Daniel Jones at 13 rushing yards. My guy had 27, 60 to win, 20 to win 160. And it hit. And tonight, Lamar Jackson is 197.5 yards passing.
Gotta take it.
Yeah, I think if you don't take that, you're out of your
have
mind.
to. And you should take DeAndre Hopkins too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Lamar Jackson is 197.5 yards, which I think is ridiculous. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown on a touchdown is a really good one. I think there's a couple of really good ones tonight. Derrick Henry has to have a game. And I'm really curious. He's got a couple of numbers, 86.5 rushing yards. Dude, that is really tempting. Really tempting. Because he did it on Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo, where he had 169. And then Cleveland, he had 23. Do you buy Derrick Henry against Detroit?
I don't know. They liked it. He runs his ass off at home. So I'm inclined to take him, but I'm also looking at rushing attempts for him, and
18.
And 18, but he pushed against Buffalo at 18. They didn't run him against Cleveland, and they lose. So you think, all right, well, obviously they're going to see that on the film and they're going to run him more.
I'm going to go rush receiving yards because his rush receiving yards has been probably his best stat. So I'm going to go rush receiving yards at 92.5. And then the question is, who's going to score a touchdown tonight for Detroit? Because Jared Goff, the one that's tempting is rushing yards. He's had half a rushing yard as his number tonight. But how many sacks does he get? Because that's the thing that scares you. You're like, oh, well, Monty, it's only half a rushing yard. Yeah, but if he gets sacked 5 times.
Got sacked 4 times against Green Bay.
That's what I'm worried about.
No times against the Bears, though.
Well, but the Bears can't sack me. That's what I'm worried about. But like you look at some of the numbers in this game tonight.
Goff for an interception tonight against that defense.
Yeah, Goff's goblin number passing is 249.5. Now, against Green Bay and Minnesota, he didn't meet that number. Those are the 2 best defenses. So
yards on first pass completion for Goff, 7.5.
God damn it.
That's tough, bro. That is tough.
Completions. Oh my God. Completions in first 10 passes.
Actually, I really like pass completions overall because they're probably going to be behind in this game.
I would agree with that. Oh, man, that's tough.
I'm going to go pass completions at 24 more.
35 pass attempts. Oh, 35 pass attempts. They're going to be trailing.
Okay, I'll go attempts with you.
Okay, I'll go
attempts
more.
with you.
I'll go more.
More than 35.
Oh! Okay, so here's what I got tonight. I got Derrick Henry, more than 92.5 rushing receiving yards. Jared Goff, more than 35 pass attempts. Now, damn it. Henry's number's up to 95.5 rushing receiving yards. And Lamar Jackson went. They moved it back down. Okay. I'm going to book this right now. Okay. Submit
right here, right now.
Right here, right now.
Gotta get that booking in.
Right here. So that's what I'm going to go with. And then obviously Lamar 197.5 passing yards. So I'm going to go with those three. What do you got?
I'm going to go against the rule and get adventurous tonight. Taking Lamar Jackson on the discount, obviously. 233.5 passing yards.
Okay.
Amon-Ra for a rushing or receiving touchdown because that's a demon, and I feel like that's pretty reliable. Goff for more than 35 pass attempts. And the dark horse for the 4-for-4, DeAndre Hopkins more than 20.5 receiving yards. Because he had that touchdown, and they've been building that connection. And I feel like there's a good opportunity in this game. DeAndre Hopkins gets a bomb or two.
Yeah, I'm still hedging. Yeah, that's the right Goff stat because the net is what I'm worried about. So it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Monty is a tech hater. How am I a tech hater? Tech, which one? Which tech? Kaner, and maybe Utah can let Zach's little brother play this week. Why would they do that?
K's a BYU fan.
Devin Dampier's not the issue. I was trying to encourage Monty earlier, and he didn't read those comments. I'm very happy for how far you've come. What do you mean?
I think that's a Zepbound reference.
Okay. Cubs Mets coming up, Monty. I hope so. The Cubs need to finish strong here, Greg. Cubs need to finish strong. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Playa met with Joey Maguire from Texas Tech. He's the coach. Really? I didn't know.
Joe Maguire, Monty. Joe Maguire. Yeah.
Josh Harper, Laporta, best receiving option for the Lions. It's not wrong. Mrs. Fight Night. From a Texas Tech U perspective, we leave Morton in knowing he'll probably get injured. Then we put in Hammond and no harm done to the team view of coach's family atmosphere. I don't think that's wrong. But in all seriousness, I'm not a Texas Tech hater. And see, we get into this conversation every week about somebody's team.
Yeah, we do.
I don't have to pull punches. I don't have to say nice things. I have the luxury of hosting a show about college football and the NFL. And so I can be honest about Texas Tech or not really about Notre Dame because they're ridiculously bad. But I can be honest about Bear and Morton. And if you think I'm a Tech hater, is anything I said about Bear and Morton on Thursday and Friday, did that happen this weekend? Everything I said about Bear and Morton happened. He is not a guy that's going to go on the road at a ranked opponent and win you the game. And he's not done that previously, and he's not going to do that moving forward. And I agree with Mrs. Fight Night. He is injury prone, and it's because he's not mobile, and he stands in the pocket and takes a beating. So, Willie, sacks don't come off pro quarterback rushing totals, but it's net. It's net. The sack in the NFL, the sack stat comes off the passing yards on Prize Picks. It's net. So, yeah.
More, do you know anything? We're just dumb. We don't.
I'm stupid. Hey, Utah, we'll trade you a quarterback for a running back. Just don't throw 5 INTs, Goff. Seriously. Lamar 197 on Prize Picks. It's an amazing get. You guys open up a new Prize Picks account, use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more in plays. Lamar's 197 yards on Prize Picks. I'm telling you. I was actually happy for Monty when the Bears won, even though they beat Dallas. Well, I appreciate that. Cubs, Mets, Tom Dean. Hey, Tom Dean. Is there some sports bill thing going on other than football? There's not. Sports.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Greg Hawkins and I text each other about the Cubs. Greg's worse than me, dude. He's like, they've quit. This team sucks. And
that's what fucking ticks me the fuck off.
I don't even disagree that the Cubs are out of gas. Like, you party the way they partied after making the playoffs, you know. World Series, Mike. No, James, no, you damn Benedict Arnold. You know, it's fine. James is now cheering for the Bears. He cheers for everybody.
Yeah, dude, he's the ultimate bandwagon fan, dude. He's a Wolf fan, and then he's a Horny Frog fan, and then he denies his use of a device and a remote, and and then he wants to deny the fact that he's got burner accounts, and notice ever since we pointed that out, Dana Marie hasn't commented once, but James is still here, so clearly they got to the rectory, okay.
He's going the Durant route.
Yeah.
No. I'm a doomer on the Cubs. We are a doomer. Was says, is Monty cheering for the Tigers' downfall? No, I don't cheer for anybody's downfall, dude. The Cubs have been so disappointing in the second half. The problem for the Tigers is you guys have like a 71 game lead, and now you've kind of pissed it away, and the Gardos are on your back. Right? I mean, it is the Tigers, I think, have lost 9 of 10. And I want to say it's like 23 of 25 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, but Marty, they're the best team in baseball, bro. What are you talking about?
Well, it started in that, I think it was a White Sox series where you guys lost 2 of 3. And I was like, okay, but then you beat like the Yankees 2 of 3. But then you went to the Marlins and the Guardians, and you got packed. Like, I don't even know how else to describe how bad. You just got to get to the postseason, right? The Cubs just, yeah. How did the Bears win? Did Monty bet on them? I did not. I don't bet on games. I bet on.
Yeah, we just have positions, dude. We have positions.
Exactly.
We don't gamble.
Dude, my wife would divorce me if I was gambling. Like, I spend so much money on my side hustles that...
Yeah, if you went full eBay, that probably wouldn't end well for you.
I got to tell you, my wife, she really pisses me off. KSL Classifieds suck. My wife has sold so many things on Facebook Marketplace. I don't even know. It's
actually not that easy, but for me, it was easy.
So we've been trying to really slim down our possessions, and we sell this microwave that we used to have for our studio that we just didn't use. I paid like $8 million for it at RC Willey. This poor lady and her husband show up the other day. They're like, hey, does this thing even work? I'm like, yeah, it's brand new. You want us to plug it in? She's like, yeah, why don't you plug it in?
She was being condescending about it?
They don't even turn it on. No, I'm an asshole, so I'm being condescending to myself in her voice.
Okay.
She was a really nice lady. She's like, yeah, would you mind if we... She didn't even turn it on. It just turned on. They opened the door, the lights on. I pulled the glass tray out. I'm like, here, you probably want to carry this. $50. Like, and then my wife has been going ham on selling shoes. Like, I was going to donate a bunch of my shoes to Savers because it's Boys and Girls Club. And she put a bunch of her shoes on Facebook Marketplace. Bing, 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 bing. I put a bunch of shoes on StockX. Bing, 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 bing. It's ridiculous. So then we sell this Bowflex we had. Because we were both terrified of the Bowflex, right? And this dude shows up at my house. I think he paid $100 for the Bowflex. We paid like $8 million for and used it like twice during the pandemic.
Right.
I want better fucking execution.
My wife sells this fucking Bowflex on Facebook Marketplace. This guy shows up with his wife, his kid, his cousin or brother-in-law or whatever. His brother-in-law walks in the house. And of course, because my wife is Chatty Cathy, they're down here like chopping it up. They're taking about their Bowflex. And this guy's like, yeah, I'm a mover and I work for this company. And my wife's like, oh, my son just moved to Eugene, Oregon with your company. And he goes, oh, yeah. And that, like the same mover who moved Jake bought my Bowflex. And his name is brother or whoever. Exactly. And this guy's a cop and his brother or whatever he is owns a moving company. They pay us, I think they paid $150. I could be wrong. Damn. They completely take this Bowflex apart and they're humping it up my stairs in my house to get it outside in a pouring rainstorm. It was a scene straight out of Amityville, and they left, and me and my wife like bro hugged, and we were like, yeah, we got rid of that. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
dude.
All of this to say, I am never selling anything again. I hate people coming to my house. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
If the daybreak yard sale never happens again, that'd be fine. It just is. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. Dana Marie. Oh, look at that.
So I mentioned it, and what happens? What happens?
Facial recognition.
James, you're not beating the allegations, dude.
No, James.
You're not beating the allegations.
James and Dana Marie are the same person.
Yeah.
Point blank. No way getting around it. Guy got hurt lifting boxes full of shoes for Jake.
Stay hard.
A Bowflex is not light. The base of a Bowflex.
We've lifted it.
It is heavy. These dudes, movers just know how to move heavy shit better than everybody else. I don't know how you explain it. My wife and I'm like at the top of the stairs. She's at the bottom. And I just see my wife like leaning and looking up the staircase. And this dude is like humping this thing up our stairs. And then they get to the front door and it's like, oh yeah. And by the way, there's a driving rainstorm out there. Good luck.
Don't play intramurals, brother.
I am not moving my own stuff and I am not selling any more of my stuff. I'm done. So we also had an interesting conversation at this wedding party we went to.
Right. You were mentioning that.
What do you do with your fish when you're done with your fish?
There's only one answer.
Well, one of our sadistic friends decided the best way to off your fish, get a Ziploc bag.
No.
Make sure you put the water from the fish tank in the Ziploc bag because we want to make sure that this is humanely done.
Yeah, so put them in a bag where they can't swim wherever they want. That seems smart.
Oh, no, it gets better. The bag is the nice part. Put the fish water in and the fish in the bag.
In the big.
Close the Ziploc and put that thing in the freezer. Come back.
No. What?
That's how this
bro.
You want to get rid of your fish? I can get rid of your fish.
What? So what? Then what do you just throw it out and let it melt?
Yeah, because he's
you went full Frozo on that ass, and now you're gonna let it melt him alive.
They just go to sleep. They never know what hit them.
Oh, please. Yeah, Buddy's out there freezing his ass off. Like, what the hell is this?
Here's the stupidest part. I think it works. I did some Google searching, and
you are not freezing your damn fish.
I'm not going to freeze. I love my fish. My wife will throw them down the garbage disposal. That lady's a savage, right? She'll send them. He's like, I'm not sending them. We're going to send them straight to Valhalla, Monty.
Dude, bro.
Bro,
freezing fish.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Yeah, that's how you kill fish. That is how you kill fish.
We don't take any shit.
No, we don't. They don't.
Bro.
They just go to bed and they don't wake up. I can't do it.
Dude, that is cold-blooded, bro.
I'm the dude. Listen, I'm the dude who'll just flush him down the toilet. Let them eat shit for the rest of their short lives.
You don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on.
Yeah, you just flush it and move on. Or you can donate him to a fish store who will take him back and let him live happily ever after.
Ipso facto, it's mine.
Yeah, done.
Bro, do you put them in the little ice cube tray in the freezer? Is that how we're doing this?
No, you put it. I guess I'm not doing anything. I've worked hard to make sure those damn fish don't die.
Timothy.
I bought 2 fish and named them Crockett and Tubbs. Right? One was bright yellow, one was bright pink.
Biologics.
Bright pink, who is Tubbs, Ricardo Tubbs on Miami Vice, decided he didn't want to live no more, so he jumped out of the tank.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
I should have done what I did with Jake, which is left him on the carpet, which is where he left himself. And then, but these other ones, my fish are doing great. But we were just having a conversation about how do you get rid of fish? You put them in the freezer.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Like, who comes up with this? I'm not putting Nemo in the freezer, dude. I'm not doing it.
Like, I got news for all of my Disney people out there. Nemo is not crawling out of the water tube from the freezer, bro. That's not happening.
Listen, we're going Shawshank. We're crawling through a mile of shit for freedom, brother.
We're not doing it, dude.
Oh, I mean, I guess you can drown a fish, but I don't think. I have really nice fish. That's the problem.
Fish are friends, not food.
I'm kind of emotionally attached to my fish. I'm like, I have sat there in front of my tank, and I tend to sit in front of my tank and just watch my fish. It's actually
I don't live in a what if scenario.
Can we talk about fucking snails?
Okay.
I have a snail in my tank to eat the seaweed or whatever you call algae.
Such as in like.
This damn thing won't stop reproducing. I've had this snail for probably a year, 8 months, maybe. This thing he's fielded multiple football teams. Like, and it's, what do they call that when you bang yourself and get pregnant? A hermaphrodite, whatever it is. Like, where are these things coming from?
The dynasty is not over.
Like, is this thing sneaking out to the neighbor's house, or is there a snail in my garden and they're like doing the thing? Like, how is this snail getting pregnant? How are you, like,
macaque?
You sampling your own product here, bud? Like, what are we doing? Like, how are you? And all this thing does is just constantly boom.
I need a dick in me.
It's got to be once every 8 weeks. This thing.
I need a dick.
And the worst part is the snails, the baby snails, get caught in my filter pipe. And it's like escargot.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Filter pipe. I got a filter pipe for you. But they get sucked out of their shells into my filter, and so they're dead. So now I got a
ding dong.
Yeah, like sucking their ding dongs into the filter, and so I got a bunch of empty snail. Like, I got enough stuff in the bottom of the tank. But how is this snail reproducing like that? Okay, and now here's Jimmy the snail. He's finger banging his own self and making babies. No need for a DNA test, Maury. You are the father.
That was a lie.
The stuff the things you
are
learn,
not.
dude. The thing, yeah. Maybe one of my like cloud neon fish is the father, or what? I have one of my fish has like a huge tumor on the side of his head.
He has our full respect.
The things you learn
maybe
about,
freeze his ass, give him some relief.
Hey, maybe we'll take a test run on the freezer. He's got a fucking tumor on his face. You can't.
I hope it won't come to that.
You can't tell me he wants to live. Put him in a sandwich bag and toss him in the freezer.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
And by the way, tomorrow is the Rapture. You're telling me fish don't go to heaven? I think it could happen.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Am I going to be sitting on the couch and the fish are just going to float up to the ceiling? Anyway.
Oh.
Has Monty never watched Jurassic Park? Never. Not once. Never. Monty, sometimes when two snails love each other, is that what you and the Walmart manager said to each other?
Oh!
Find out.
Well, here's the problem. I don't have two snails because I'm a snail murderer and the filter murders the other ones. but I don't know how it's happening. Yeah, Snail, you are the father. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Google me.
No doubt about it. There is no rapture happening tomorrow. Okay, let's get into it.
Dude, whoa, why would you say that? That means now it is going to happen. You were the cursor of all things, dude.
Preston Stone's cock. Damn it, James.
God.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip.
Anything James predicts, the opposite happens. Okay, kiss our asses goodbye. Peace out.
Here I am.
Okay, so you guys know that I think the Bible's pretty much bullshit. It's fiction. I think as somebody who grew up studying the Bible, and I think I'm not an expert on the Bible. I know what the Bible says and doesn't say. The Bible is fiction, and I hope people understand this, right? And I think it's important to say, if this offends you, good, because I want you to go and research it. Everybody's like, oh, well, this is a real life account of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ never wrote anything down, ever. There is no documented history of Jesus Christ using a pen and a piece of paper. Turned water into wine, allegedly, never wrote it down how he did it. And I would also like to point out that, and I don't know how many people realize this, but the apostles are movie characters. There is nowhere in written history of any time on the planet where somebody was close to Jesus Christ and they described things. There's nobody named Peter, Paul, and Mary. Oh, wait, that's Credence. There's nobody named like Mark, Paul, John, Matthew. Those are all made up names. And I'm certain most Christians don't know that. But go back in history, go read the biblical scholars. They will tell you the Bible is 100% a work of fiction. The disciples are not real people. They're actors who play disciples in a Bible. And Jesus never wrote anything down. This is not to say that Jesus wasn't real. That's up to you to decide. Great. Nowhere in the Bible, friends, does it say the word rapture. I want you to understand that. Not once does the word rapture appear in the Bible. So the guy who wrote the Bible didn't put rapture in there. And if you believe the Bible is factual, which it's not, go check the biblical scholars, including the Catholic ones, who will tell you it's not a firsthand account of Jesus Christ. But if you believe the Bible also tells you that Jesus is not going to give notice when he comes back and sucks all the people up through the filter pipe, right? And so where this rapture thing is in, do you guys know what the rapture is? Are you familiar with this? The rapture basically is, for Christians who believe in the rapture, Jesus is going to return to earth and all of the believers will be risen off the planet, the earth, and taken to heaven. It never describes that. I want people to understand that. It describes something like that. It does not say that. And the reason that people believe tomorrow is the rapture is because this priest in Africa said he had a...
Hold up. You said this priest in Africa.
Dude, I can't make it up if I tried. A priest in Africa said he had a vision.
Well,
he had a vision where Jesus came to him. And Jesus was sitting on a throne. And Jesus said to this African priest, I'm going to come back on the 23rd or maybe the 24th. I'm not quite sure yet. I got to check with Peter, Paul, and Mary.
What's up, big bro?
I'm going to come back on the 23rd and rapture that ass. And so this priest says, well, there it is. Jesus is coming back. Never mind.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Never mind that the Bible straight up says Jesus is not going to give notice. And I just think it's apropos. This guy has been saying this for 2 weeks. So is Jesus resigning?
Well, no, the earth is at the end of its lease. That's what this must be.
Got it. You got to give 2 weeks notice to vacate your rent.
Yeah.
This is complete nonsense. And if you follow me on TikTok or Insta Snapface, you know that I went down a rabbit hole last night.
And it was quite entertaining. I'll give you credit.
The best one is, and I can't even remember the lady's name now, but the best one is this lady who's like, I believe in the rapture. I believe it's happening on Tuesday, the 23rd.
God bless.
And and she goes into this whole thing. I put signs all over the house because the heathens, and this lady's like, the heathens who I left behind need to know that it wasn't aliens who came down and took my body. I want them to know. And she had these like really dramatic pauses. I want them to know that it was Jesus Christ who saved me. And she just goes on and on and on and on and just on and on and on about how she's left canned food and she's taken it from, I've taken it from my cold storage and I've put it on my counters. And she pans the phone around and it's quite literally Star-Kissed tuna like this. And she's got jars and jars and jars and jars of fucking peaches. Like just jars.
What is it with peaches, dog?
Dude, because her hand don't look like no peach. But the point, she's got jars of peaches all over the counters. She's got a flipping case of Spam.
This case.
Dude, like just Prepper City. I want the heathens to know that they are loved by the Christians.
Would I have stayed if I knew that?
Their hope is not lost in the eternal Savior of Jesus Christ. And why can't you just
the opposite of hope?
Why can't you just say Jesus? Why do you have to say Jesus Christ? And then she goes into this whole thing.
Soliloquy.
And Charlie Kirk gave his life so that we knew the rapture was upon us. It's a sign. And then the Israelis, and she couldn't say the Israelis or Israel, the Israelis are going to blow trumpets live on YouTube. And it's going to be beautiful to look up to the heavens and see all the bodies floating up to Valhalla. She didn't say Valhalla. Floating up to Valhalla. And she then says, but I do have concern. And she started patting her fried eggs. I do have a concern. And she starts talking about this neighbor who's a convicted sex offender.
Oh, dear. Pederast State shows up. Who knew?
And I can't remember what, I think it was Jimmy or James, whatever. She's like, but what should I do? Because you, Jimmy, my neighbor James, I don't want him looking up my skirt as I float up to eternity. I'm like, dude, you understand. Bro. You understand. Jesus is not going to float you up to heaven while pederasses, while the knuckle deep boys at Penn State are staring up your skirt.
Can you do something for me?
That's not how saving the Christians work. I could be wrong, but that's not how saving the Christians work. Now, I know it's not in the Bible to have pederasts looking up your skirt if you float up for the rapture or raptors. Rapture. But I know people are like, and hey, make sure when the trumpets are blowing, you're outside free of power lines. A lady said outside free of power lines. So wait a minute. Jesus can make water out of wine, but he can't float your ass around the power lines? And if you get electrocuted, you're not going to hell.
Hey, crazy lady, what's worse, getting frozen like a fish or getting zapped by the power lines?
Because Jesus is perfect in all ways. I'm going to guess he's going to not have you hit the power lines, lady. And if the power lines killed you and you're a believer in Christ, you're going to heaven anyway. So why did the power
God's name, image, and likeness?
And are you telling me that Jesus can't pull you up through the roof of your house? You've got Are you telling me there's no ventilation going up through your ceiling he can manipulate? He's Jesus Christ. He can. If this really happens, I don't think Fort Knox is holding the Christians. Okay? Pretty sure Jesus can bring you up. Power lines or roof be damned. Quite literally.
Hey, listen, Greg makes a great point right here in the comments section. Right? Look at Greg's comment here at the bottom.
The Bible came before electricity, Monty.
Well, Jesus didn't know about high voltage lines. And so you got to make sure that when you're outside,
this lady also is like, hey, make sure your underwear is clean. So wait, if I have dirty drawers on, Peter's not going to let me through the gates.
We don't take any shit.
So is he? Are there So wait, at the gates of heaven,
you don't sit there and look at it,
right?
And flush it and move on.
So you're telling me they're making sure you're not riding dirty in heaven? But aren't you made new? Aren't we all naked, hanging out and
Morty,
not liking each other?
I gotta agree with Johnny Gonzalez on this one. Quote: Santa can get into your house, but Jesus Christ!
Listen, Santa Claus can get into your house 24/7, 365 on Christmas Day.
And if you've been a bad boy, you on the bad list, the naughty list.
Now, I believe in Santa Claus and his ability to burglar the home of milk and cookies.
We even got his footprints, Monty.
I don't think Jesus knew about sheetrock, so there's no way he can raise you to heaven if you're in. Boy. Like, it's crazy to me. And then people are like, okay, when the rapture happens here,
guys.
When the rapture happens, make sure you're not holding it. This lady is on fucking TikTok yesterday. Make sure you're not holding on to anything heavy when you go up to heaven. You really think you're taking your books with you? Do you really? Are you taking your weight set with you? What do you mean? When you go to heaven, worldly possessions mean nothing. The Bible.
Morty, will you please not be holding on to the Bowflex when you float up to heaven?
Like it's remarkable to me that you're literally having to give people instructions. Jesus loves me, but I had on dirty, shitty underwear, so he don't. Right? Like, what hymn says if my underwear is dirty, Jesus will forsake? Jesus, why did you forsake me? Well, pretty much because you wore shitty underwear, sir. You're going to hell for that one. What? Listen, if Jesus wants you in heaven, you're just going to wake up one day and you.
Monty, sorry to interrupt. James is asking for permission here. He would like a green light to speak on this. Now, James,
this isn't the White House. You can say whatever you want, and I'm not going to restrict you.
Now, James, listen, brother, listen. If you give us a take about how Jesus needs to, improve his running game, and that you've seen improvement in his Rapture game, I don't think that people are going to take you too seriously on this one.
Okay,
brother.
God, if you could, it's me, James, Rectory, Backdoor, Civic, Walmart manager. Remember that? Okay. If you could come and Rapture Coach Gundy, that'd be great. But to hell with him. If you could save Cale Gundy and Dana Marie, that'd be amazing. And Ollie Gordon too. Okay, but not Brad Whedon. No.
Damn.
This is the Rapture is amazing. It is amazing. I don't even know. Okay, here is Pastor Oak State James live from the Rectory. My brothers and sisters, the Bible teaches that when Jesus Christ comes back to earth to save our souls, bitches.
Present.
He didn't say bitches. He will make heaven and earth new. Our faith isn't to help us escape earth, my brotherly earthlings. Our faith in Jesus Christ is to inspire us to love people and help them here and now. If you go and read Matthew, Mark, and Ephesians,
Brother.
Galactic 19, paragraph 7, it'll tell you. So wait, let me get this right. If it's to make heaven and earth new, why do we have to leave earth through the rapture? Why do I have to watch out for power lines if heaven's going to be, or earth and heaven? They're going to be new.
I don't know. I don't know if.
Here's a question.
I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
Here's the question. If he's going to make earth new, wouldn't he just bury all the power lines? Because he's aware of high voltage lines now. Jesus would come down, and on the 5th day, he buried all the power lines, brothers.
How dare you?
Well, Morty, now that we've lost every listener of the program, now that we've lost every listener of the program, you know,
and on the 3rd day, Jesus Christ said, today we deal with the septic tank. I'm going to turn septic tanks into wine.
We don't take any shit.
I cannot believe people think this is real. I cannot believe people think that Jesus is going to float you into a power line.
Greg, look at Greg's question right here. Check out Greg's question. This is a really reasonable question.
Yes. Do animals get raptured or do they die like normal in the freezer? My point is, this lady on TikTok last night is like, and I set some food out and look at the little sign that I made. I even laminated it. She left instructions for her dog on how to feed the dog.
Ma'am,
for the people left behind.
Hey, ma'am, your dog can't read. Were you aware of that?
Let me get this right. Gladys went up to heaven in the rapture, and my piece of shit ass has to feed her dog. I think not.
Program.
I'm going to eat that dog, and I'm going to eat.
Damn.
You really think? I know this is crazy. You think people who are left behind are such bad Christians? They're bad people. You think they're going to feed your fucking dog? We're terrible people. We're not feeding your dog. Oh, they're going to feed my cat. I think I'm going to leave this tuna on the counter because Garfield needs to feed like a mother. And if you guys don't mind, could you just change out the litter box before you go? The answer is no, ma'am. This is wild to me. Oh, look, Dana Marie's back. All dogs go to heaven.
Hold on. Who commented after Dana Marie?
Oh, Dana Marie says James is spot on. And then James, the lady on TikTok is delusional. She would give that food on the counter to some homeless people. Stop. There's not a chance. There is not a chance. Less than 1/10 of 1%.
Less than the percent that Gundy survives the season.
The rapture. What are you jackwagons going to say when we do this show on Wednesday and you're still stuck with us?
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
Right? Like there's no chance. And I'm just saying you're going to wake up Wednesday and I have real fear for you. Yes, Mike. And if you're an Oak State fan, you are praying the rapture actually happens.
I pray for moments like that.
Oh my God. No, he's not getting fired. They've talked about it from what I've heard, but
allegedly.
All dogs go over the Rainbow Bridge has something to do with Asgard or Valhalla or whatever.
I'll see you in Valhalla.
Monty Show live from Valhalla.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Here's our God Odin. Come on in here, boy. Tell me about your thoughts on the Vikings. Well, we have big
Timothy.
We have big ships and big hats. No, I meant the Minnesota Vikings. You think JJ McCarthy's for real? I'll see you in Valhalla.
No.
And then just to piss everybody else off.
Oh, well, hold on. I thought that Jimmy got canceled. He has come back from Valhalla in a Jesus Christ type fashion.
Can I just ask you guys, how many stories am I going to get right for you?
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Did we have a national exclusive on this? I'm not even kidding. I think we had a national exclusive on this story. One of my television guys, you guys remember that last week, was texting me saying, hey, Jimmy Kimmel and ABC are talking about a return. And I'm very curious, how did this happen? Because Jimmy Kimmel refused to apologize. And by all accounts, there's no stipulation he has to apologize. And I'm really curious to see how does this play out? Because I think ABC completely collapsed. I think they completely folded. They lost $4 billion in market cap.
Yeah.
Because did you see how many people canceled Disney and ESPN apps?
Well, nobody, because his ratings are terrible, Monty. Nobody watches Jimmy.
Yeah, it turns out that's not true. It turns out that's not true. And I am shocked. I am actually shocked that ABC. What this tells me is that boycotts work. Because there was a legitimate boycott move. Yeah, it was real. And you want ratings, Jimmy? You got ratings. And I think this is a massive win. And I am very curious how Donald Trump will respond to this. Because as much as I want to believe that this is it, and I don't believe that this is even close to the end of this battle. Because Donald Trump's not a guy that generally takes a position and then gives up on it.
Yeah.
I think most people recognize there's not a chance you're going to be able to pull ABC's license. You just don't have the precedent. The law is not on your side. The First Amendment's not on your side. Like, it's going to be really tough. I'm really curious to see how this whole thing plays out. Really curious. And when you lose billions of dollars in market cap because people were canceling your services and your streaming, you've got to know that this is going to be a battle. And I am certain that people like Nexstar and Sinclair will not carry Jimmy's show. And I just don't think ABC cares, because it'll be very interesting to see how this happens. I think Disney absolutely got this right. I don't have any problem, because everybody thought Jimmy Kimmel was fired. I told you straight away when everybody started commenting about it on the show, I told you straight away he was not fired. And they paid him for his absence. I don't know how you have any problem with the way Disney's handled it now that they have returned him to his show.
Yeah, I still think that there's just a small portion of it where, and I get it from Disney's side, totally get it that you don't want to rock the boat any more than it got rocked. But I think there's a definitely a conversation around who is going to stand up for free speech. Like, at what point do we say, like, because them standing up for free speech would have been them refusing to remove him, right? And like forcing their hand. But I don't think that they were interested in doing that. So
I think that,
which I understand. Again, I get it.
Here's what I think happens. I think Jimmy Kimmel goes back as normal. I do not believe that Sinclair, because Sinclair is threatened to drop ABC. They're not going to drop ABC.
You're not dropping ABC.
31 ABC affiliates.
My
guess is Sinclair will syndicate their news channels. Sinclair has a bunch of hard right news channels. My guess is they will put that on their affiliates. And I think Nexstar Media probably does the same thing. Nexstar is the more influential one because they have larger markets. And I think that Jimmy Kimmel is probably going to do quite well in TV ratings. And I think people will turn out in droves to watch. And everybody's like, well, why didn't they put him on tonight? Monday Night Football. That's why they didn't put him on tonight. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I think the way that the public turned out, the fact that I think Disneyland lost $7 million in event bookings, so like weddings and parties. Disneyland on day one lost $7 million in bookings at Disneyland. That alone should have been a shot over the bow. I mean, we'll see. We're just going to see how this plays out, because one thing might be very interesting. Consumers may have finally won. Mm-hmm. And if that is true, I think this is going to be huge. Mike Smith, if 97% of talk is bad, he suggested that it could be illegal. Donnie, First Amendment. And again, I think the hardest part for Trump now is they ran on giving everybody free speech. We will no longer be repressed. And one of the first things, and this, whatever this social media mistake with Pam Bondi this weekend was, that can't be a good look, right? And the fact that you ran on a platform and you talked about everybody has free speech and nobody was going to be, canceled, and then immediately you start calling for people to be fired and canceled because they don't say nice things about you. But that's the tradition in this country.
Yep.
So I don't know how you get out of that. At worst, Sinclair will just play some other show while Kimmel's on. Totally agree. Dana Marie, Oak State James, rather, excuse me. Trump will claim he taught Jimmy a lesson and allowed him back on the air. Probably. It was just not the public. It was just not the left crowd. There were Republicans that tapped into what was the true conservatism at one time and cautioned about freedom of speech. And
you're not getting away from what Tucker said, bud.
That's what we need to do. We have, as Americans, we have to fight for free speech. Because freedom of the press, freedom of the media, freedom of entertainment. Like, if you can't make jokes anymore, where are we? Where are we? I just got my tickets for Saturday, Baylor at Oak State. I will be there in Stillwater on Saturday. Good luck.
You're going to be wearing green, right? Because you would never support Gundy.
Good luck. Vance will win in 28. Oh, I think he's a terrible candidate. I think the party of Trump and the hard right in this country have got to find a new candidate. And I think you have a unique opportunity with this Charlie Kirk situation now. I think you have a unique opportunity to find a candidate inside of that. It can, CJ or Vance won't get elected. He just is. He has said so
the hypocrisy.
Many things.
The hypocrisy.
You just can't. I don't know how. ABC flips faster than the Cracker Barrel dude. Seriously. If Vance does win, hope he goes back to the prior J.D. Vance when he thought Trump was America's Hitler. Yeah, J.D. Vance is just flip-flopped on so many things, right? Like, you have to find a candidate on the right who will stand up and be a conservative. Like, you need to, and I think this is largely the issue on the left as well with Gavin Newsom or whoever your flavor of the day is. You don't have a candidate on the left and you don't have a candidate on the right who will truly be liberal and truly be conservative. And so the question you have to ask yourself, can you find a candidate in the middle who will bring some conservative and bring some liberal, who can unite people, who can bring the conservative vote, who can bring the liberal vote, who can bring the Latino vote, the black vote? I think, again, what we learned last year was women matter. Female voters matter. I think, it's really interesting. We were buying paint this weekend. And we were at Home Depot super early in the morning, like 7:30. We wanted to get this painting project done. 7:30 in the morning. And this 79-year-old guy from the Plains, lived up north, farmer his entire life, When I asked him how the farming business was, what did he say to me? Well, a new combine's $300,000. And I said, those parts are not cheap either. And what did he say? No, and Trump let us down. He lied to us about that. And it's like, dude, when you have a 79-year-old conservative saying that Trump let him down, the farm vote in this country, it's not going to go well for Trump. It's not. And I just don't know. I don't know how you fix the tariff problem. You just lost Subaru and Hyundai, both pulling out of North America. Like, did you guys see that? Subaru is laying off, I think it's 11,000 workers, closing all of their manufacturing facilities here. This $100,000, what do they call H1N, HN1, whatever the skilled worker visa is. South Korea says, nope, we're done with that. Because you got to pay $100,000 to get that visa. And so what did immediately China say? Nope, come on over. Come on over. All you need is a bachelor's degree. And I mean, it's amazing. And so how do you, if you're Trump and you're Vance and you're this administration, how do you turn this around? Right? Because this skilled worker visa issue, I think is...
You could just admit you were wrong, but why would you do that?
But that's not how this administration is operated. So now how do you take the real issues you've self-imposed? You've self-imposed tariffs. You've self-imposed gas. Donald Trump keeps telling people gas is $1.99. No, it's not. You look at how many people are out of work, the fact that now we have more unemployed than jobs available. How do you justify what's going on with the crops in this country and the farm industry in this country, and the fact that Caterpillar is telling people we cannot get parts? If you have a Caterpillar piece of equipment that you're farming with, you are really struggling to get it fixed because they break down a lot because they're high volume. If you have a Caterpillar processor and you break apart on that, it's 8, 10, 12 weeks. And so farmers now are at a point where their crops are dying. They have to go buy another harvester. You have to go buy another piece of equipment. And that piece of equipment is so expensive. So the question is, how do you flip that? How do you flip the tariffs? How do you flip the taxes? How do you flip the IRS audits? How do you flip all of this stuff? And I think you're right. I think you don't. And it's...
You wear it.
I am really interested to see... I'm really interested to see how all this plays out, because I think the midterms are going to be an absolute bloodbath if this continues. Now, do you have candidates? Do you have... That's a whole different thing. Even the scary thing about... You know what the funny thing is? Pew Research just let go of a poll in the redistricting map in Texas. And Trump is almost 40% down in the redistricting, inside the redistricting zone in Texas. From less than a year ago to now. Like... You've got to find a way to to turn this around. How do you turn it around? And the answer is, I have no idea, because food cost is up. Exports of crop, including cattle, way down. And now this thing where he's talking about how people got to stop buying Russian oil. I have no idea how you do that. And now, like Jimmy Kimmel in this First Amendment thing, you got to turn this Jimmy Kimmel stuff into a win, because this could be a really catastrophic and publicly loud, ugly loss if he gets back on, because you can't do any more damage to Disney and ABC than you've done. Like with Sinclair and Nexstar, that's a significant blow. And I haven't seen anything from Nexstar on Kimmel yet, but I just don't think there's any other way to go about this.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Let's see. Disney statement, Kimmel returns. Yeah, I don't see a statement from Nexstar. Let's see. Here it is right here. 2 hours ago. Nexstar affiliates to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely beginning tonight. But that was last week. So, excuse me, that was not today. Nexstar has not said a word. Yeah, Nexstar has not said a word, although WTEN Television, which is a Nexstar affiliate in Albany, New York, is confirming that they are going to carry his show. So, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. You better hope the Rapture happens.
Hope so.
What a crazy time we live in, you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels, wow, dude, is it 5:30? It is 5:30. We'll talk about crazy times tomorrow. The Monty Show, as always, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Thanks, you guys, for being here every day. Don't forget, we're off this Friday. We'll be back on Monday, but we'll be here through Thursday, and then we're off on Friday, back next Monday. Always appreciate the conversation. Always appreciate it. 24/7, 365. Get the best legal advice. And in an accident, it's theadvocates.com, or you never pay a penny out of pocket. In fact, you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.